Football Saturday continues here on FSN from the campus of McNeese State University at Cowboy Stadium in Lake Charles, Louisiana. The site for college football tonight is the McNeese State Cowboys from the Southland Conference welcome their neighbors across the state, the Lions of Southeastern Louisiana University. Game number 2 on the season on this 9/11, the American flag being honored, and we welcome you, Kevin Eschenfelder, alongside John Berger. Good to have you in for this one. You got a perennial power going in McNeese in this one against an upstart program in Southeastern Louisiana. Now, Southeastern Louisiana, they may be upstart. They've done a great job, particularly on the offensive side, and Martin Hankins is kind of rewriting the record books already.
Well, he did. He had a great ball game last week. Now, Martin Hankins is a standard drop-back passer. This guy's got a cannon for an arm. Last week, he set a school record with 588 yards passing and 4 touchdowns. This guy's a legitimate pro prospect. In 2003, set 21 records. And
yeah, I set 21 records last season, but, you know, if you're going to be throwing it all over the yard, you got to have somebody that's going to catch it. And make no mistake about it, wide receivers love a quarterback who can throw it. And Felton Huggins, he was phenomenal last week.
Well, Felton Huggins had a breakout career game last week. This guy's a very fast wide receiver. He's a big, strong kid, 6'4". He's got legitimate 4.4, 4.5 speed. Set a school record with 266 yards on 11 catches. This guy's going to have to put up those same type of numbers for them to have a chance tonight against McNeese.
Well, over the last few years, the only big numbers McNeese State's been worried about is the wins, and they've won a lot of ball games, particularly with Scott Pendarvis under center.
Well, Scott Pendarvis is a veteran guy. He's 25-5 as a starter. He's also a smart guy. This guy's already graduated. He's working on his MBA. He's a 6'3", 221-pound drop-back quarterback. Puts up big numbers. The coaches love this guy because he never makes mistakes.
Well, he's been schooling defensive backs for quite some time around this league. Now, speaking of defensive backs, they really hang their hat here at McNeese on the defensive side of the football. Every year it seems like they have a star. This year, no exception. Chris White, the cornerback, is their leader.
Well, they're going to be thankful that they have Chris White today because the ball's going to be zipping all over the field. This guy is a 6'2", 210-pound guy. He can really cover the pass. He's also strong against the run. They're going to need him in that presence in the backfield today.
Yeah, you'll get a lot of chances to get into double figures in the interception column for his career because they will be throwing it all over the place. It should be a lot of fun, and we will kick it off. Beat the starting lineups when we come back to Lake Charles, Louisiana. McNeese State try to drop in on a 2-0 record at Cowboy Stadium. We got the kickoff when we return.
With nowhere to go as he pitches to the halfback. Wow, is he Pelayed for about a 10-yard loss on the play. They read that one.
Brings to mind the Romans crushing defeat in a critical battle just outside of modern-day Turkey, AD 378. Ultimately, it meant the fall of the empire.
Great crowd tonight, Chuck?
At its height, Rome numbered over 1 million people.
Hibernia, official bank of Southland Conference Athletics.
It was well policed. Sanitation was excellent.
And Southland Conference Academics.
As children, we learn by playing. In time, the competition gets tougher and the lessons have greater consequences. Then one day, we find ourselves on the field of life, where the game is played for keeps and there are no timeouts. It is the mission of the Southland Conference to unite its student athletes and universities in preparation for that day, by building foundations for success with academic excellence, by teaching discipline and perseverance through athletic competition, and by fostering camaraderie and pride in traditions that will sustain our institutions for generations to come. As we ready our student athletes for real-life experiences as leaders and team players on the fields of tomorrow, we take this pause to celebrate them all, as one by one they prepare for the world, each with their own vision, dignity, and integrity, and the pride of being part of a great tradition, the Southland Conference.
You're watching FSN.
Yeah, I'm calling about my car insurance claim, and since you're like the 100th person I talked to,
My claim number is 54737-85Q. Name Mark Powell with 2 L's. Yes, it was a fender bender. No, it wasn't.
Hey, think easier. Think Progressive. We give you one person who's responsible for your claim from start to finish, so it's easier to get back on the road. Go to Progressive.com.
At CarQuest, our people go above and beyond the call of duty to help the technician working on your car by supplying them with superior service and only quality auto parts.
Get the latest original equipment technology with Autolite Platinum and Double Platinum spark plugs. Dependable and durable Autolite Platinum plugs for one perfect spark every time.
With nearly 4,000 stores and over 130,000 CarQuest parts to choose from, we'll be there when you need us. CarQuest, the professional choice.
On the Cops season premiere, you'll see action.
Let me see your hand!
You'll see drama.
On your knee!
But in 16 years of Cops, you've never seen anything like this.
Everybody was kung fu fighting!
The Cops season premiere, this week on Fox.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Hibernia Bank, the official bank of the Southland Conference, by McNeese State University, by Southeastern Louisiana University, and by the Southland Conference. Well, a comfortable evening tonight here in South Louisiana where it can be hot and humid, and it was most of today, but nice breeze blowing this evening. That could be good news or bad news for a team that likes to throw the ball over the field. And it feels pretty good considering it's 94 degrees right now. It will cool off in a hurry as we come to you from Lake Charles, Louisiana, about 2.5 hours to the east of Houston, Texas. And these guys come from Hammond, Louisiana, which is just north of New Orleans, about 3 hours away from here. They want to try to get this to be a great rivalry with Southeastern Louisiana University joining the Southland Conference next year. This should be a good start for it. Southeastern's going to have the football to start things as they come into this game 1-0 after a 46-32 win over Arkansas Monticello a week ago. This the 30th meeting between these two teams. McNeese State, along with those numbers, has won 9 of the last 10. McNeese comes in here 1-0 as well. They knocked off Southern last week here at Cowboy Stadium. Last year between these two teams, McNeese won it big, 58-20. As we told you, after an 18-year layoff, Southeastern back playing football. This the second year Hal Mumme, head coach for Southeastern Louisiana. As the guys in green will get the ball first, at least with the green headgear. And just about underway here in week number 2. Two 1-0 teams going head-to-head. McNeese, winners of 3 straight conference titles in the Southland Conference. Southeastern beginning its final season as an independent. They'll be in the Southland next year, and they'll bring this one out to the 35-yard line. So great field position for Southeastern to get things started as the Lions will come out to the 35. Martin Hankins, the quarterback for Southeastern. He runs the show. As we said earlier, he just put up phenomenal numbers last week, nearly 600 yards passing. He threw for 388 yards in the second half alone last week against Arkansas Monticello. He's 6 foot, 205 pounds, sophomore from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. All-time leading passer in Mississippi high school history on the 5A level. He'll turn 20 years old on Wednesday. Here we go on the first play of the game. Hankins throws this one almost picked off by Kirby Joseph. The big sophomore transfer from UCLA got his hands up and got a hold of the football, and Martin Hankins may have gotten away with one. Threw for over 3,500 yards a year ago in those 30 touchdowns. As I said, he's from Hattiesburg. Ray Perkins gets the start at the running back. They'll go with a 4 wide receiver set in this offense. Huggins, Gonzalez, and Taylor. You'll also see Jeffrey Howard in as the Z receiver. You see the big guys up front, and they are huge. Average 320 pounds on that offensive line. Second down and 10. They hand it off. Ray Perkins, and Perkins trying to find a hole. Takes it ahead for a gain of 5 yards out to the 40-yard line where he is slammed down. It is a big front four for the men in blue. Jaworski White, John Paul Jones, the preseason All-American, Buck Harris and Kirby Joseph. The linebackers, a 2 linebacker set as they go with 5 defensive backs all the time. Nicholas and A-line, and then you go with White, Walker, Lars, and Thomas, two strong safeties in this one, and Stephen Barrett. So 3rd down and 5. Out of the gun. Good protection. Lots of time to throw. Throws and almost picked off. It was Kendrick Nichols that had a hand on it, and Nichols almost came away with the interception. It's 4th down and punting time for Jim Hall and the Lions.
Good coverage downfield. If you watched the quarterback go through his reads and through his progression, he checked off, went to his 3rd receiver. Good defense.
Carlise Franklin is back deep. Plan for the return. Franklin, a low kick into the wind. And it will bounce out of bounds at the 34-yard line. A 33-yard punt. No return on the play. And McNeese State will have the football with Scott Pendarvis, the 3-year starter, the grad student, running the show. He is a senior from Catholic High School in Walker, Louisiana. He's 6'3", 215 pounds. Does nothing but win here. He will go over 5,000 yards more than likely in today's game. So 1st down and 10. McNeese, a team that went to the first round of the playoffs a year ago. Handed off. Chris Thomas, and Thomas breaking it ahead for a gain of 8 yards. Big lineup up front. You should take a look at the starters. Thomas and Jason Miller, the fullback. The wideouts, Bertrand, Smith, and Butte is the tight end. Big guys up front, and they are veterans as well. LeBlanc, Poussin, Laborde in the middle, Demarest and Vasilakis. Oh, it's a 2nd down and 3 after a gain of 7 yards. Play action, looking to get the man open, almost intercepted, knocked back to Pendarvis, and he is taken down. That was Damian Huron. You call him Putt, number 3, getting a hand up there. Huron just getting the right hand up. And, you know, he was great last week, and picking up where he left off, that's for sure. That's a 3-4 lineup that goes for Southeastern. And so now it is a 3rd down and 9. It'd have been better off just having that one go to the ground. This one caught near the marker. It's going to be a matter. It should be the 1st down. He got over the 45-yard line as Andy Bertrand, the senior from Miami, who's a transfer from NC State, was able to haul it in.
Darvis had plenty of time on that one. Dropped back, delivered the ball on target. You can see Bertrand gets in and out of his breaks. Coaches love this guy. He puts distance between himself and the defensive backs on those patterns.
Yeah, Charles Hall gave him a lot of cushion. Afraid that he was going to get beat deep, and instead just went right to the marker and got the 1st down by a yard. Handed off up the middle, and they get it out near the 48-yard line. So take a look at the Lion defense. As we said, they go with a 3-4 defense. Tagarius Spikes, Jonathino Conley, and Derek Mincy are the down linemen. The 4 linebackers can really run. Talked about Huron just a moment ago, who knocked that one down. Jones, Shinsky, and Jay Skidmore, the outside backers. You take a look at the defensive backs, and this one up the middle. Chris Thomas and Thomas into that defensive backfield that consists of Hall and Mayo on the corners and McGee and Adams the safeties, and they met him in a hurry as he picks up a big gain.
You can see what McNeese State's going to do here. You can see the bounce. Chris Thomas bounces one outside. If you look at their play count, they're about 50-50 on the run and pass. I think they're going to start getting a large dose of Chris Thomas.
From the 37-yard line, Pendarvis again throwing this one up top. Wide open man, caught Henry Smith, and Smith down to the 15-yard line. Mark him out of bounds at the 17. Just absolutely threw this one in perfect position, and a nice job of reaching out and grabbing that one as well for Henry Smith.
Smith ran a tight pattern. It was a broken coverage. They did have a guy wide open in the end zone, though, but Darvis saw the guy underneath. Drops it to him. Nice pickup.
So from the 17, Thomas, the tailback, they pitch it to him. Trying to cut across the grain, breaks one tackle, gets inside the 10-yard line, knocks off his pins at the 8, where William Shinsky, the inside linebacker, was there to make the tackle, but not before another nice gain for the sophomore from Slidell. There's those defensive backs I mentioned a moment ago. They've gotten a lot of action, but not covering passes. They've been tackling running backs. So 2nd down and 2. Line to make for the first down is the 6. Thomas has that and more as he's inside the 5-yard line, skipping down to the 3.
Offensive line of McNeese State just blowing those guys back off the ball. Husan and Laborde really getting up into their guys, pushing him back 2 to 3 yards. Chris Thomas he's not getting hit till 2 or 3 yards into the defense.
So 1st and goal. From the 3-yard line, they go to Thomas again. Why not? He's been carrying the mail on this entire drive. Gets it inside down to the 2-yard line. As the Lion defense stiffens. That's been the problem with this team. Now, they are led by Woody Weidenhofer. He's the defensive coordinator, and Woody Weidenhofer is basically a defensive legend when you talk about what he has been able to do over the years. They go with that 3-4 because, quite frankly, he says it's easier to find 3 defensive linemen, or it's easier to find 4 linebackers that can run than it is 3 defensive linemen who can play. Pendarvis, he's looking to take it in. It's intercepted. Charles Hall. How's that for bend but not break defense? First break of the game goes to the Lions. I don't think there's any question this is one Pendarvis, a guy who's known for making great decisions, would have loved to have had back.
Kevin, it looked like he just tried to push the ball, almost like a baseball toss.
Looked like he was trying to convert the double play, and Jason Miller was the intended receiver, but stepping through is Charles Hall. So the first break of the game goes to the Lions. We're scoreless. 90 seconds in Lake Charles.
There aren't too many things that are completely free these days. Air is free. Hand-me-downs are free. And advice will always be free. But if you want some really good free stuff, head for Hibernia. Our checking is completely free. You get free online bill paying, a free gift for opening an account, and switching your account to Hibernia is easy. Just stop by any branch, call us toll-free, or visit us online. Because if you really love free stuff, head for Hibernia.
What am I? Am I a basketball player who's a psychology major? Or am I a psychology major who's a basketball player? You know, that's the thing about psychology. We tend to overanalyze everything.
There are over 360,000 NCAA student athletes, and just about all of us will be going pro in something other than sports.
Next Saturday, FSN has football covered. First at 9, catch high school scoreboard. Then at 10:30, it's Big 12 Showcase. At 11, college football kickoff previews the battle between TCU and Texas Tech at 11:30. After that game, it's another college clash when Wisconsin faces Arizona at 3. Later at 6:30, check in with Nissan Southwest Football Saturday. At 7, Montana comes south to take on the Sam Houston State Bearcats. Later, hardcore football at 10:30. It all begins Saturday morning at 9 on FSN Southwest.
Well, the junior from Gulfport, Mississippi, comes up with a big play. His first interception of the season. It comes in the end zone, stopping the opening drive from McNeese. So the Lions will have it out at the 20-yard line, where they'll try to restart this offense. Martin Hankins calling the signals in a scoreless game just underway here in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Kevin Eschenfelder, John Berger with you. Handed off up the middle. That's Big Ray Perkins. He's 5'11", 205 pounds, a senior. But not a whole lot there. That's because there's some big folks on the other side of that line as well, led by John Paul Jones, a preseason All-American, who made that tackle.
There are some big boys up front for McNeese State. John Paul Jones, his coaches are really high on this guy. Probably be playing in the NFL next year. Came in a lot leaner, 297 pounds this year.
You're a big man when you trim down to 297.
Yes, you are.
3-step drop, throwing on time, complete. Huggins gets out to the 25-yard line, but that is it. Boy, Jonathan Walker, the cornerback, stepped up and really could not have played that any better than he did.
No, he didn't. He hit him in the numbers. That's great. That's the way the coaches teach it from a tackling perspective. Stick your head right in those numbers, driving back. 3-step drop, quick out. Cornerback's looking at his hips versus his head. You don't want to get faked out. Sticks his head right up into the numbers and puts him down.
So another third down and 5. Here comes the blitz, bringing everybody. Read it, but couldn't get it away. The safety blitz was coming in a hurry, and it pressured Martin Hankins to throw the football away, and now it is 4th down and punt time once again. Travis Moses, the nickelback who comes in at that strong safety, he's the one that really came on the blitz. So now for the second time in as many possessions, Jim Hall will punt it away.
He's kicking into that win also.
Carlise Franklin back deep. He had a 43-yard punt return last week. Didn't get a chance to return the last one. It was a low liner into this win. Hall with a better boot here. Takes the Southeastern bounce all the way down to the 29-yard line. A punt of 41 yards, better than his 33-yard effort first time out. So we are scoreless. McNeese and Southeastern. Cowboys with the ball when we come back.
With nowhere to go as he pitches to the halfback. Wow, is he P-laid for about a 10-yard loss on the play. They read that one.
Brings to mind the Romans crushing defeat in a critical battle just outside of modern-day Turkey, 83-78. Ultimately, it meant the fall of the empire.
Great crowd tonight, Chuck?
At its height, Rome numbered over 1 million people.
Hibernia, official bank of Southland Conference Athletics.
It was well policed. Sanitation was excellent.
And Southland Conference academics.
It's the cool, crisp feel of an autumn afternoon. The smell of burgers sizzling on tailgates. The brassy sounds of a marching band. And the roar of a mighty throng of fans. This is football in the Southland. A grand tradition of gridiron greatness. Where raw recruits make their bids to rise above the deeds of yesterday's heroes. It's here that legends are born and stories unfold. Of triumphant victories and despairing defeats. This is Southland football, where helmet meets helmet, pad meets pad, and with a lot of sweat and a little luck, a pigskin makes it into the promised land. This is no dance contest. This is butt-kicking, bulldog, smash-mouth football in the finest tradition of the game. There is no better way to spend a Saturday afternoon. It's Southland football, for crying out loud. Now get out there and live it!
There is Hal Mummy in his second season with this upstart Southeastern program. Went 6-5. You make it 5-7. I beg your pardon. Last year, that was the 5th best record for a startup program since 1990. This one up the middle out to the 29-yard line. Hal Mummy spent 4 years at Kentucky. Coached such notable players as Tim Couch, Heisman runner-up. So he knows of what he speaks when it comes to throwing the football and coaching that aspect of the game. So it's a 2nd down and 10. Pendarvis rolls the pocket, good coverage, in trouble, trying to get rid of it, does, and he was out of the tackle box, but it doesn't matter. They're going to say it is intentional grounding because it did not cross the line of scrimmage. Well, it was Jonathino Conley.
Guy was hanging off his pant leg. They're giving him intentional grounding.
He doesn't get the ball, never crossed the line of scrimmage, and that was the reason for the intentional grounding.
Yeah. He scrambles though. It looks like he's looking for wideout Andy Bertrand. The guy's hanging off him. It looked like he tried to make a throw. I don't know about that call.
So it's 3rd down and 18 after the intentional grounding call. Jonathino Conley putting more pressure this time, spinning away, and this time he goes down at the 21-yard line. So the Lion defense, once again, up to the occasion. Marvin Jones will get credited for the sack, but they were all over Scott Pendarvis. Well, the offensive line just really never stood a chance right here. Look at this.
Well, yeah, there's breaks in the dam there. Pendarvis is running for his life. Last couple of plays, defensive line has really got into those cracks in the one gap. They're just tucking the ears back and blowing through those guys.
Trying to get a number on the player who is down. It is Tegarius Spikes. Tegarius Spikes looking like he's obviously really favoring that leg.
I think he just got rolled up, Kevin, when Pendarvis took off. One of his own guys rolled up on his ankle.
So for the first time tonight, Jason Cook will come in and punt the football away, the junior from Moss Bluff, Arkansas. Shoney Francis is back deep. Southeastern's going to come after it and almost got there. Low liner again. Francis will let it bounce, and it'll take a big McNeese bounce all the way down to the 18-yard line. The wind paid off, a 58-yard punt, and Southeastern would be backed up in its own territory at the 18. Well, tomorrow, America's #1 pregame show is back, and in week 1, we'll take a close look at Joe Gibbs' return to the NFL. Plus, Giant star Michael Strahan goes 10 yards with Terry Bradshaw, who asked the question nobody else dares. Fox NFL Sunday returns tomorrow at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on Fox.
Boy, as a punter, you love to see a guy back away from the football and let it roll another 20 yards.
Especially when it lands on the point and heads rockets right towards the goal line.
Helps the average.
So an empty set, 5 wide receiver set. Throw this one quick over the middle. It's caught, but a short gain. As Josh Taylor was able to haul it in. Stephen Barrett, though, knocked him down in a hurry. I beg your pardon. That's Brooks Jordan who made that catch. So 2nd down and 7, 3-yard gain. Come back in with the I formation. Hal Mumme said we'd see a lot of different sets, and he wasn't kidding. Right up the middle, they hand it to the fullback, Terry Robinson. In an offense like this, the fullback can sometimes be the forgotten man.
Well, when we talked to Hal Mumme earlier in the week, he talked about the multiple formations, but he talked about down and distance and setting the tempo of the game. But what McNeese is having success doing is just dropping those linebackers and keeping everything in front of them right now, just not giving up the big play. At some point, they're going to have to go for the long ball here.
Well, this is a 3rd down and 1. 3rd time the Lions have faced a 3rd down in this game. They have yet to convert. This one over the middle, and they have still yet to convert. Stephen Barrett was there to make the tackle immediately. So it is a 4th down. Well, the Lion offense says like they want to go for it.
The linemen are signaling, let's go. I don't think so, guys. We're on the road at McNeese. Let's punt the football and
absolutely
play some defense.
Cooler heads prevail and smarter heads prevail as they will go ahead and punt it away. Robbie Skates with that last catch. So once again, for the 3rd time in the game, it'll be punt time for Southeastern. Young man from Hammond, Louisiana, Jim Hall, to punt it away. They're going to go in the fake. Got the 1st down, lost the ball. He fumbled it at the end of the play, and it'll be McNeese football. No signal yet, but it looked for certain that a blue jersey got on the ball. And they did. Wow, that's a tough break for the Lions.
It's a tough break because they had the 1st down.
Absolutely they did. Well, you see, Brian Forte came away with it.
It's direct snap.
Direct snap to Chase Holbrook. Holbrook, a backup quarterback from LD Bell High School in Dallas. And he had the 1st down, and really it was Brian Forte who knocked it away. Watch 55 come in and knock it away and then recover it. Ball rolled right up on him. So Pendarvis will hand it to Thomas, and Thomas tried to squirt through, but the hole closed in a hurry, not before he was able to pick up 3.5, 4 yards on the play. Derek Mincy there to make the stop. Mincy, a first-team All-Independent a year ago. He's a junior from Lyons, Georgia. There you see Thomas didn't play much last week in the game against Southern. He was bruised up in the really coming out of the last week of camp. And wasn't able to practice very much before week 1, but this time he catches it. He's going to have a big gain here inside the 20-yard line, down to the 16.
We talked about the depth of this McNeese program. You know you're in good shape when Chris Thomas is your first-string running back and your third team is a transfer from Michigan State. You can see Thomas just swing it out, catches the swing pass. This guy gets north and south very quickly. He's a tough runner. You can see another look.
You got to be able to catch the football out of the backfield for this team as well. You know, you talked about that third team. You're talking about Chris Bush. And all Bush did last week was go for 129 yards
and
rushing.
That's your third-string quarterback.
That's right. Right up the middle, fighting inside the 10-yard line is the aforementioned Chris Bush, his first carry of the game. Freshman from New Orleans, John Curtis High School, but as you said, a transfer from Michigan State. Averaged 7.5 yards a carry a week ago. Big guys up in front, creating space. Next thing you know, he's hitting a defensive back. Now he'll try it wide, trying to turn the corner. Bush, did he get in?
I think he's just short.
Down at the 2-yard line, I believe, is where they're going to mark him down.
I think we see a storyline developing here for the McNeese offense.
Well, they've been here before, but weren't able to score. And Darvish threw an interception on what amounted to be a shuttle pass in the end zone. So now from the I formation, first down and goal. Who moved? Who made contact? Well, I think it was Jacob Guidry, the backup tight end, who was in on the 2 tight end situation. And he rocked back, and it'll be a first and goal from the 7-yard line. Right up the middle, inside the 5 again. Chris Bush, and Bush just a freshman. Down to the 4-yard line where it will be second down and goal. Under 4.5 minutes to go in the first half. Make it in the first quarter, I beg your pardon. Scoreless game between McNeese and Southeastern Louisiana. Bush trying to cut it up and gets down to the 1, drugged down from behind by William Shinsky. Senior from New Iberia, Louisiana, and a transfer from LSU making the play.
Just a simple sweep. Chris Bush cuts it up inside, gets north and south. Just comes up a little bit short.
Well, it's a third down and goal from just there, the 1-yard line. Right up the middle, nothing fancy here. Touchdown, McNeese.
More and more Chris Bush, nothing fancy here. Get under your guy, shoving back. Running back comes over the top.
Now John Marino will come in to convert the point after. Marino to make it a 7-0 game. And he does just that. So 3:33 on the clock. McNeese gets in the end zone. They lead 7-0.
hit movies you want to see are playing this week on In-Demand Pay-Per-View. Uma Thurman is back for the final cut. Kill Bill Volume 2. It's no heavenly job. This hero fights the forces of darkness in Hellboy. Bruce Willis and Matthew Perry are back in The Whole 10 Yards. All on In Demand. Rent a movie tonight without leaving home.
Miss the September sell-off this month at Rainbow Chrysler Dodge Jeep on the North Shore. We need to sell 100 new vehicles in September, like this 2004 Durango V8, tow package, power windows, power locks, just $19,995. Or this 2004 Ram 1500 regular cab, automatic transmission, Magnum engine, only $13,995. What about a 2004 1500 quad cab SLT, V8 automatic transmission, $19,495.
Rainbow Chrysler Dodge Jeep. How many rainbow license plates have you seen today?
Welcome you back. McNeese State on top by a score of 7-0. And that was Travis Pickering who kicked that extra point, not John Marino, who we are used to seeing. What are the chances? Two left-footed kickers, the backup and the starter. And John Marino is in all-conference the last 2 years, but it is Pickering who did the kicking. And he will kick it away again. It's a short kick, and it was out of bounds at the 17-yard line. It went right off the face mask, and it'll be Southeastern ball at that point. Well, tomorrow, America's #1 pregame show is back, and in week 1, we'll take a close look at Joe Gibbs' return to the NFL, plus Giant star Michael Strahan goes 10 yards with Terry Bradshaw, who asked the questions nobody else dares. Fox NFL Sunday starts tomorrow at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on Fox. 3:33 to go. Cowboys on top 7-0. Southeastern has yet to register a first down. This one complete, and that's not going to help much. Maybe a gain of a yard for Jeffrey Howard. Caught it. There was a lot of dancing, but Stephen Barrett was no dance partner. He just took him down. No gain. 2nd down and 10. This an offense that put up 688 yards of total offense last week against Arkansas Monticello. This is not Arkansas Monticello they're playing this week.
It's like he's changing the play.
Trying to break this one outside. Has the corner and the first down out to the 30-yard line. Well, Ray Perkins showed a quick burst of speed as he got to the corner. 200-pound senior. He's from Fort Lauderdale by way of Vanderbilt. John Viggers was there to finally knock him out of bounds.
Well, he sees the corner cheat in. He calls the audible, gives it to Ray Perkins. He does a nice job of bouncing it outside and then getting his shoulder pads down and picking up positive yardage.
So 1st down and 10, first down of the night for the Lions from the 32-yard line. 3-step drop again. This would complete far side as Josh Taylor hauled it in. And Taylor takes it ahead for a gain of about 5 yards. Viggers making the stop again. The freshman from Baton Rouge on that strong safety spot as he comes in and backs up Cedric Lars.
Looks like Hal Mummystaff has adjusted last 2 to 3 passing plays. They're attacking those corners in the outside versus those drag routes over the middle.
Well, it's after a gain of 4, 2nd down and 6. Hankins again changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Hands it off. Worked the first time, why not again? Another first down. Well, Ray Perkins, a punishing hit at the end of it, but not before Perkins picks up the first down. And once again, 32, John Viggers in there to lay his hard hat in on that helmet.
They're using the aggressiveness of McNeese State against them at this point. They want to keep him honest. They've been shooting up the field at the defensive end, especially John Paul Jones. So they're going to let him come up and just hand the ball off underneath.
Well, Jonathan Walker shot across there from his cornerback spot. He looked like a missile being shot across the field. He provided the big hit. Southeastern trying to provide a big drive. Again, three-step drop, finds the open man, Felton Huggins, and Huggins out near midfield. And to the credit of these cornerbacks from McNeese, well, once they grab on, they are not letting go. Jonathan Walker was the first man there, and then Travis Moses came in a hurry.
Well, the coaches talked about that last week. They put a lot of emphasis not only on special teams, but on tackling. One of the best tackling mid-major college football teams you'll see.
After a 3-yard gain, it is 2nd down and 7. Fake the reverse, hand it off up the middle. This time, not a whole lot there. Maybe a gain of a couple out to midfield. Well, it's going to bring up another 3rd down. 3rd down and 4 to go for the first. Is the nose of the football just inside Cowboy territory for the first time tonight. Here comes the blitz. Everybody coming, going up top. Huggins with a step, makes the catch, and down at the 15-yard line. That was ruled down, but the official immediately pointed down to the ground. And then he started following the play as if it was a fumble.
They gave it to
that back judge, the back judge there to the left, he immediately pointed right at the ground as if to say that man was down.
The blitz is on. Quarterback reads it, throws a post route to Huggins.
I'm going to tell you, that back judge right there.
Right there, he was down.
He was definitely down.
And you're right, Kevin. The back judge did call it down. That's where you really need somebody on the official staff to step up and go over there and make that correct call. Because you were right, he clearly signaled that the ball was down.
He definitely did. He pointed at the ground 3 times. Instead of a big play for Southeastern Louisiana, instead now it is a turnover back to McNeese.
Big break.
What a huge break. No question.
Watch the back judge. Watch the back judge on this. He points. He's clearly down.
He's clearly down. His shoulder pad.
Yeah, you can't see the but he was clearly down. No question.
We don't get a vote, so this one pitched back. And maybe a little poetic justice there as it goes all the way back to the 2-yard line where Henry Smith is collared down there. Well, it was Derek Mincy, I believe, who got through there, making Jay Skidmore 55 instead of 56. He got through there, and a big loss on the last play of the first quarter. So a first quarter of football that's gone both ways, but the only team to put the ball in the end zone, the home team, and McNeese leads 7-0.
There aren't too many things that are completely free these days. Air is free. Hand-me-downs are free. And advice will always be free. But if you want some really good free stuff, head for Hibernia. Our checking is completely free. You get free online bill paying, a free gift for opening an account, and switching your account to Hibernia is easy. Just stop by any branch, call us toll-free, or visit us online. Because if you really love free stuff, head for Hibernia.
Quick, in the top 5 water polo players in the world. Okay, how about 1? Yeah. I didn't start playing water polo to get famous. And the same goes for being a biology major. I like working in protein chemistry. Quick, in the top 5 protein chemists in the world.
There are over 360,000 NCAA student athletes, and just about all of us will be going pro in something other than sports.
As children, we learn by playing. In time, the competition gets tougher and the lessons have greater consequences. Then one day, we find ourselves on the field of life, where the game is played for keeps and there are no timeouts. It is the mission of the Southland Conference to unite its student athletes and universities in preparation for that day, by building foundations for success with academic excellence, by teaching discipline and perseverance through athletic competition, and by fostering camaraderie and pride in traditions that will sustain our institutions for generations to come. As we ready our student athletes for real-life experiences as leaders and team players on the fields of tomorrow, We take this pause to celebrate them all, as one by one they prepare for the world, each with their own vision, dignity, and integrity, and the pride of being part of a great tradition, the Southland Conference.
A big crowd on hand, and they like what they've seen so far in this first half as McNeese leads it by a score of 7-0. Big-time offense we pretty much expected, but it's been the defenses that have been really dictating the way things have gone here in this first quarter. With John Berger, Kevin Eschenfeld, we welcome you to Lake Charles, Louisiana, start of the second quarter of play. McNeese State coming into this one ranked number 6 in the country, while Southeastern Louisiana, a team that will join the Southland Conference in 2005, they won their season opener a week ago. Scott Pendarvis, the graduate student quarterback, senior from Walker, Louisiana. Making his 33rd career start tonight. Second team all-conference a year ago. Straight drop, looks to throw, throws it underneath. Out to the 15-yard line, cutting back near the 20 and down at the 19. That is tough running and some big hitting as Stephen Whitehead made the catch out of the backfield. And William Shinsky, we'll give him credit, the final man who got the last blows in on him. He's short of the first down by just about a half yard, so punt time for McNeese. Been an interesting first half. It's been a first half in which we have seen an interception in the end zone. It's been a first half in which we've seen a fake punt. The first down was acquired, but the man fumbled the ball at the end of the play. And a play just about a moment ago where it looked like clearly the man had hit the ground, but it was ruled a fumble. No penalty marker. There was contact with the punter. Bringing this one up to the 40-yard line and good coverage downfield as Kyle Ritchie, free safety from Eagan, Louisiana. Iota High School was down on coverage.
Good open field tackle by Ritchie. It was a great punt into the wind. Sometimes when you launch a punt like that, you can actually outkick your coverage.
There was contact,
See, when the
clearly
ball comes off, he gets pushed back into
his own man.
The punter.
Yep. It was his own man, Scott Thomas, who bumped into him. The flag now is at the 40-yard line.
Little jawing going on.
That's Bunny Gingras, our referee. So the offsetting dead ball fouls. No harm, and in effect, it ends up being no foul. So from the 41-yard line is where the Lions will scrimmage first down and 10. There is Tommy Tate. First time we've gotten a chance to see Tommy tonight in his 5th season. Now Tommy Tate in his 5th season. He's known nothing but McNeese State football. Look at that winning percentage. That is 4th among active 1AA coaches. He is 40-12 as a head coach here at McNeese. He was a defensive back here in the 70s, an assistant coach up until he took the job 5 years ago as the head coach here at McNeese. Rode this wide open and a lot of room to run for Brooks Jordan. Jordan down to the 45-yard line, and again, the Lions are in Cowboy territory. Well, it looks like this young offense is getting more and more confident as this game goes on.
Brooks Jordan slips out. Looks like a busted coverage. You can see he went to his 3rd receiver. Cuts it upfield, picks up a nice first down.
You know, another thing too, John, in this offense, kind of in a sense like an option running offense, is the fact that you got to be able to catch the football, but you also have to be able to block downfield.
Well, you're talking
wide receiver.
You're right. You're talking about timing. This is a
Well, Huggins couldn't hold on to that one.
This is an offense predicated on timing. You got 4 and 5 receiver sets. Spend a lot of time on wide receivers on a day-to-day basis on their reads. making sure the quarterback's on the same page.
In case you're joining us, we talked about it at the very beginning of the show. Huggins, 11 catches last week for 266 yards. Yeah, I said 11 catches for 266. He had touchdown catches of 78 and 74 yards. He's an option quarterback in high school. Straight drop. They try to get it to him, and they do. Huggins moving his way upfield, but again, not a whole lot there. Ivan Stevenson and Trey Bennett, backup linebacker and cornerback respectively, in there to make the stop. Bennett, just a freshman. Stevenson, a junior from Lake Charles.
Hankins just trying to chip away. He's trying to find a weak spot in that McNeese defense to capitalize on. It's hard to find. These guys are playing tight. Corners are playing up, man-to-man, in their face, not letting them release.
So 3rd down and 8. Crowd getting up. Hankins time to throw, going up top and incomplete. Looking for Josh Taylor on the up, out, and up route.
Threw into double coverage that time.
So incomplete pass, and that brings up a 4th down.
Watch John Paul Jones. You think they're worried about this guy? 1, 2, 3. 3 offensive linemen get on this guy and mug him, drive him into the ground. That's pretty good if you're getting triple team.
There's a lot to worry about, that's for sure.
He's a load.
Punt time for Jim Hall. Again, Southeastern has already had 1 fake punt in this game tonight. Picked up the 1st down but fumbled the ball. Stephen Whitehead is back deep. High hanger, this time with the wind. It'll go out of bounds. As the official makes the long walk, we'll find out where. McNeese will have the ball. It'll be the 12-yard line when we come back. Cowboys lead by 7.
This is your soul plane chauffeur.
Now on DVD. The party is non-stop.
We're gonna have me some fun on this plane.
We're gonna party like it's your birthday. Soul Plane. Get the unrated DVD today.
You wanna say something? You wanna say something?
What's for lunch? Come on over to Poncho. For around $5, save for over 25 made from scratch recipes.
Raise the flag, raise the flag. You ready for a little more Poncho Mexican buffet?
Come hungry.
North Shore, the end of 2004 is fast approaching. And now is the time to get incredible savings on Pontiacs, Buicks, and GMCs. Where? At Rainbow. That's where, because only Rainbow can offer you up to $6,000 in factory rebates. 0% financing for 60 months.
Your satisfaction is, I guarantee, before and after the sale.
So before you waste time and money shopping around, go straight to the model year-end blowout headquarters. Rainbow Pontiac Buick GMC on Highway 190 in Covington.
Linex custom truck bed liners are here. Rigid drop-in liners shift and vibrate, grinding away your investment. Linex eliminates this problem with its revolutionary polyurethane liner. Linex is sprayed on to fit the contours of your truck bed. Linex seals out air and water, eliminating rust and corrosion. And Linex is tough. It absorbs impacts and protects cargo. An outdated product or the new technological standard. The choice is yours. Call your local Linex dealer today.
You're watching FSN Southwest.
Seven, 0 McNeese on top. Up the middle they go. Not a lot there. It's Jonathino Conley and Derek Mincy in there to converge on the ball carrier. Scott Pendarvis hitting on all but 2 of his first 7 passes for 45 yards. High percentage passer, but he has thrown the 1 interception. Obviously one he would have loved to have had back when he kind of shuffled into the end zone. That was his only pick. That was a gain of 2.
He'll blame that one on temporary insanity. That was very uncharacteristic of them.
Again, the I formation. Fake the handoff to Thomas. Throws in the flat to the big fullback. He's down after, again, another short gain.
Cowboys are very methodical in the way they dissect you. The balance is there. It's about 50-50 run to pass. You can see Pendarvis. Watch the maturity of the young man back up with somebody in his face and deliver that accurate ball under pressure.
Well, Mayo made the stop on Kenny Jones, and it was as soon as Jones got the ball, he went down. 3rd down and 5. Pendarvis again knocked down at the line of scrimmage, and that is an incomplete pass. Again, putt. Huron was there to knock it away. That's the second time he's done that in this game. He almost picked one off earlier.
Huron read that all the way. Defensive coaches preach that. You can't get to the guy. Back up off the guy who's got his hands in your face and bat that ball down.
Now it is punt time as Jason Cook comes in to punt. Shoney Francis back deep, transfer from the University of Houston.
End over end ball.
Yeah, got the roll though. It'll go down all the way to the 28-yard line. Well, on September 23rd, the BDSSP gets in the ring to bring you a heavyweight championship fight that you won't see anywhere else. Lights out. James Toney takes on Rydell Booker with the IBA heavyweight title on the line. Heavyweight championship boxing coming up Thursday, September 23rd on FSN. On first down, throws this one in the flat. A lot of room to run. Ray Perkins out to midfield, stepped out of bounds at the 48-yard line, but a huge gainer. Gainer of 25 yards on first down, and the Lions are clicking offensively.
Very simple play, just a busted coverage. This linebacker supposed to get out here on Perkins. Nobody's there. Makes the corner come up and make the play. I think that's our first down, right?
That's the second time in as many possessions that this play has really gone for a lot. First down and 10 from the 48. They come with the blitz again, throw it out complete in the flat. And they'll be out for a gain of about 6-7 yards. As Kendrick Nicholas was there once again to make the tackle. Again, Hutch Gonzalez making the catch, and Hutch Gonzalez, a guy, the junior from Covington, Louisiana, one of those original guys that came in that tryout camp.
300 guys showed up for that tryout camp.
Martin Hankins, the numbers on him, high percentages, second down and 4. Perkins, first down and more. Shedding tacklers down to the 15-yard line. Well, Ray Perkins is a load, and he's putting together a serious first half. 28-yard gain.
Jared Mason, Kennard White open up that hole. Perkins bounces through it, gets himself north and south, picks up another first down. Got another look. You can see it from the backside. You could have driven a truck through that hole. Offensive line takes big splits. Got leverage there.
He's a talented young man. He led the SEC in kickoff returns as a freshman. That was at Vanderbilt. Transferred to get closer to home. Hankins throwing this one for the corner of the end zone. Instead, just threw it away into the front row.
One of the fastest players on the team. Halbum really high on this guy.
37 catches a year ago for Perkins, but it's been his ability to run the football tonight that has made him stand out.
You got to feel good if you're Southeastern. They've been dominated up front all game. They're only 7 points down, threatening to score.
Yeah, and I think more so than anything else, their questions weren't offensively, they were defensively.
You bet.
The fact that you're holding this number 6 team in the nation to just 7 points, albeit early in the second quarter. Got to be happy with that. Comes a linebacker blitz. They go up top, and Huggins caught it out of bounds.
It's a little too far.
Well, great coverage, though, by Jonathan Walker. It'll be a third down and 10 coming up.
Little cat and mouse game going on between Hankins and the linebacker. You saw him step up under center, cause the audible. Just too much on that pass.
So third down 10. Line to make is just inside the 5. Shuttle pass. They never really sold it. Go inside the 15-yard line, down at the 14.
Didn't fool anybody on this third down. Little shuttle pass, nobody picks up.
Mario
Block.
Gilbert, he wasn't just lucky to hold on to the ball, he was lucky to hold on to his head because
right.
Kirby Joseph came through there in a hurry.
How'd you like to see that guy coming around the end staring at you?
So Jim Hall, a 32-yard field goal attempt, plenty of leg, and he is perfect. So the Lions are on the board here in Lake Charles, 8:42 to go. Cowboys will get it back, leading 7-3.
Nowhere to go as he pitches to the halfback. Wow, is he Pelayed for about a 10-yard loss on the play. They read that one.
Brings to mind the Romans crushing defeat in a critical battle just outside of modern-day Turkey, 83-78. Ultimately, it meant the fall of the empire.
Great crowd tonight, Chuck?
At its height, Rome numbered over 1 million people.
Hibernia, official bank of Southland Conference Athletics.
It was well policed. Sanitation was excellent.
And Southland Conference Academics.
It's the cool, crisp feel of an autumn afternoon. The smell of burgers sizzling on tailgates. The brassy sounds of a marching band. And the roar of a mighty throng of fans. This is football in the Southland. A grand tradition of gridiron greatness. Where raw recruits make their bids to rise above the deeds of yesterday's heroes. It's here that legends are born and stories unfold. Of triumphant victories and despairing defeats. This is Southland football, where helmet meets helmet, pad meets pad, and with a lot of sweat and a little luck, a pigskin makes it into the promised land. This is no dance contest. This is butt-kicking, bulldog, smash-mouth football in the finest tradition of the game. There is no better way to spend a Saturday afternoon. It's Southland football, for crying out loud. Now get out there and live it!
Al Mummy's team back on the board as McNeese leads it by a score of 7-3. Halftime ceremonies. Marcy Slocum, former head coach at Texas A&M and McNeese State alumni, will be inducted in the McNeese Hall of Fame. Stephen Whitehead back deep, and he slips down and falls at the 10-yard line. But tomorrow, America's #1 pregame show is back, and in week 1, we will take a close look at Joe Gibbs' return to the NFL, plus Giant star Michael Strahan goes 10 yards with Terry Bradshaw, who asked the question nobody else dares. Fox NFL Sunday, I should say, returns tomorrow at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on Fox. So first down and 10 from the 10-yard line as Scott Pendarvis brings his team back out. 8 minutes and 37 seconds to go in the ballgame. In the first half, I should say, as McNeese leads it by 4. Handed off right up the middle. Gain of 2, maybe 3 yards. That's really the problem you have when a guy like Chris Bush is sitting there fighting for yards and getting stood up like that. People in there are going to strip the football. That was the case, but his forward progress had stopped.
We saw that in the Nebraska game today. I think there was 2 fumbles where the guy was stood up fighting for extra yards. Those DBs just come in, know the guy's not going to pick up any more yards, and just start ripping at that ball.
A gain of 3, second down and 7. Pendarvis on play action, looking up top. Throwing downfield and incomplete. Threw it right into the bench. Coverage has been strong. If anything, Southeastern has had more of a trouble stopping the run than anything else. That was Damian Putt-Huron with the coverage there as he was able to chase Pendarvis and really make him throw the ball away. Huron, a guy who had signed with Mississippi State, never went to school there. Instead, again, wanted to come back home, play close to home, and that's what you get. Hal Mumme was telling us a couple of days ago, this is kind of a homebody program. They want to be able to get the kids close to home because there are, there's so many kids with a great deal of talent right in that area. Pendarvis has time, throws it to Bush, and he's knocked down immediately at the 15-yard line, and it will be punt time as once again Jay Skidmore the inside linebacker was there to make the stop.
Back to your earlier point, Kevin, how Mommy told us there's no shortage of Division I athletes in the Hammond area. Now they have another school to go to.
Yep, and he said, we just want to be able to keep the kids close to home. They call it the North Shore. North Shore, Lake Pontchartrain, basically the area around Hammond. That if we can, he said LSU's going to get what they want, but if we can get the next tier player, we're going to be in good shape. Penalty marker is down. Low liner taken. Shoney Francis at the 45-yard line. And Shoney goes down after dancing a little bit, but not picking up any ground. We'll check the marker back at the line of scrimmage. Well, a procedure call against McNeese. And they will decline the penalty and take the ball at the 45-yard line. Well, going into the final round of the first series, these guys have separated themselves from the pack. Will they triumph, or will others rise to the occasion? It's the Poker Superstars Invitational tomorrow at 9, only on FSN. Straight drop out of the gun. Here comes the pressure, knocked down at the line of scrimmage. That was Robert Hooker, big number 90, 6'2", but big guy from DeQuincy, Louisiana, was able to get that left hand up and knock the ball down.
Watch the defensive pressure on the front. Robert Hooker, again, can't get to him, so just jump up in there, bat it down. Textbook.
One thing Tommy Tate's defenses always do is they will play literally 10 defensive linemen. They will rotate them in and out. And what that does is it really keeps guys strong, especially this time of the year when it's warm and humid. They throw this one in, off on the timing. Wasn't even close, as a matter of fact. It was Josh Wilson was the intended receiver, but I don't think Wilson didn't even look like he knew it was coming.
Wilson just pulled up short. I think he thought that maybe there's a whistle blown or a flag thrown. Got to run through that pass. There's no safety. The safety had already flown over the right hash. If he catches that ball, it could be 7 points.
Hankins on 3rd down and 10. Being pressured, and it will go down, and a penalty marker as well. Penalty marker was thrown right at the quarterback. Big John Paul Jones. Well, the holding penalty obviously will be declined, and John Paul Jones, a man who led this defensive line in tackles a year ago, picking up where he left off.
John Paul Jones going blast through the one gap.
And Victor Carter was the man who was called, senior from Leland, Mississippi. It'll be a 4th down and a punt situation for the Lions. Once again, Jim Hall back deep to punt it away to Charlize Franklin. Almost blocked. That one will go out of bounds. So Anthony Camp almost got a hand on it. It was only a 33-yard punt. The Cowboys will have the ball, leading 7-3 when we return.
Tonight after the Southland Conference game on Chevron Hardcore Football, you'll get highlights on all the big games in college football in the Southwest, including Texas, Arkansas, A&M, Wyoming, and Oklahoma, Houston. Tonight on Chevron Hardcore Football.
This week on FSN Across America. From the fast break to the fast track, Michael Jordan discusses what's fueling his passions today. FSN Across America.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or to the state? American Tax Relief can settle your tax debt for a fraction of the amount. We can also remove penalties and interest, stop wage garnishments and bank levies, even remove tax liens. Our staff of tax professionals has successfully settled out thousands of tax debt cases nationwide. If you owe the IRS or the state between $10,000 and $5 million, Call American Tax Relief.
Call 800-575-7921. Call right now.
Hi, I'm Todd Cook for 800 Credit Card Debt. By making only minimum payments on your $10,000 credit card debt, it could take you more than 30 years and cost you thousands more in interest. Or you can call 800 Credit Card Debt and get a nonprofit debt management company that can eliminate penalty fees, reduce your interest rates, and lower your monthly payments.
Call right now for your free and confidential credit card debt analysis. Call 1-800-543-1475.
Check local listings.
You're watching FSN Southwest.
We'll welcome you back to Lake Charles, Louisiana. John Berger, Kevin Eschenfelder, good to have you with us for Southland Conference football here on FSN Southwest. Number 6 team in the country. They have had their hands full, just like right there. Been a tough night for them so far. At least nothing easy is put here in.
Damian Hurry.
There again.
Damian Hearns all over the field tonight. Just comes straight up on a bull rush. Just comes right over his guy. Nails Pendarvis.
He had 2 quarterback sacks last week. And
that's his 3rd tonight, I believe, right?
There again. Those 2nd down. Back it up. He lost 10 yards on the play. So it's a 2nd down and 20. Pendarvis again trying to set up the screen and thrown incomplete. Threw it a little low for Chris Thomas. Thomas couldn't hold on. Well, they have done a nice job adjusting to what Chris Thomas was doing because he was unstoppable for the most part in the first quarter. But since then, he has been very quiet.
They have. What they did is they just brought extra guy up into the box, and they're going to force Pendarvis to throw the ball downfield or to the outside where they have some speed guys.
Just under 6 minutes to go here in the first half. Cowboys leading at 7-3. And Pendarvis will call a timeout.
Talk it over.
The 3rd down and 18 is what this team faces. At 5:55 to go. Take a look at the scores. Northwestern State, who lost last week, but they lead Jackson State right now at halftime. Southwest Missouri and Sam Houston could be a big game. You'll see Sam Houston State next week here on FSN Southwest as they take on Montana, but they trail by 3. And in Nacogdoches, Northern Arizona, Lumberjacks on top of the Lumberjacks. That would be Northern Arizona leading 7-3 in the Battle of the Lumberjacks. Baylor on top 14-3 over Texas State, and Nichols trailing Western Carolina right now, making a final 28-7. That game earlier today. Huge crowd on hand. Nearly 20,000 in a stadium that seats just that.
I think you got to feel pretty good if you're Southeastern at this point in the ball game.
Yeah, checking out the new big screen here at the stadium. Do some renovations here at Cowboy Stadium, including putting in a new big screen TV in the end zone. They're going to throw this one up top. Pendarvis throws it, and a little bit high. Stephen Whitehead just could not hold on, but probably a ball that he would love to get back. He needed 18 for a first down. If he had caught that, he'd have had just enough for the first.
Pendarvis' drop backs, those are right in the guts of the defense. Just a little high. Whitehead typically will make that catch. You'd like to have that one back. See another angle of it. He just tries to settle in that 15-yard bubble in the defense. Ball was just a little high.
Jason Cook will punt it to Shoney Francis. Francis awaiting it at the 35-yard line. Low liner into the wind, but a good kick nonetheless, down to the 25. Francis, he goes down. There will be a face mask call on this, so you could probably tack on 5 yards to the end of this run, which comes out to the 31-yard line. That was a 50-yard punt into the wind.
Strong leg.
Buddy Gingras, our referee. Now, Ray Perkins, well, he has been solid running the football. You know, you think about this air raid offense, and you think about them throwing the ball, but Ray Perkins has been solid on the ground as well. Perkins, whether he's getting it done on the ground, he's getting it done with catching the football as well. He's put together a good night. The senior from Fort Lauderdale by the way of Vanderbilt. 6 carries, 54 yards. Take a look at it, 59 yards, beg your pardon. Throws this one over the middle, it's caught, but it's going to be right back to the line of scrimmage. If not, may have lost a yard. Scott Thomas was right there in coverage. Scott Thomas a week ago, what Tommy Tate told us, he played his best game of his career. He had 9 tackles in that game against Southern. Great athlete, all-state player in baseball, football, and basketball.
Athletic kid. He's got the job of following that wide receiver all the way across the formation. And if that guy stops and goes back against the grain, he gets to chase him all the way back across that field. He's getting his running in tonight. 2nd down and 10, no gain from the 37-yard line. Here's Perkins again, making people miss. Midfield down to the 45-yard line, a gain of 18 yards. And boy, Ray Perkins, he's up over 75 yards with that carry right there in the first half. Nice bounce. You can see Perkins is bouncing up in the middle. He's a tough guy to bring down. This guy's over 200 pounds. He's fast. He gets his pads low. Coaches are high on this guy.
Clock moving, under 5 minutes to go. Hankins, long throw to make, but he makes it on a line. It's going to be near a first down as Jonathan Walker was there in the coverage. Felton Huggins able to hold on to it right at the marker.
You can see the arm strength of Hankins. Watch him drop back and throw this rope. That is a difficult throw to make across the field. It's very dangerous for a quarterback that's not confident in his arm strength. He really gets it there. Look at that rope.
Well, Hankins, the quarterback, as I said, he turns 20 on Wednesday. All-time leading passer in high school in the state of Mississippi on the 5A level. He threw for 8,645 yards and 71 touchdowns at high school in Hattiesburg. They went to Hal Mummy's camps at the University of Kentucky as a kid. Penalty marker down. Ball thrown out of bounds. This looks like it's going to be offsides against McNeese.
It's going to be a big drive for Southeastern. They got all timeouts left. Get a gift, 5-yard penalty there. 7-3 ball game. Creeping toward the end zone.
Yeah, Tommy Tate talking with that side judge. I don't think he's giving him dinner suggestions after the game. So it's 1st down and 5. Straight up the middle. Well, Ray Perkins just been a load in this game tonight. That wasn't Perkins, instead that was Terry Robinson. And Robinson gets it ahead as the big fullback takes it on 1st down and 5 for a gain of 3.
Going up top. What a catch! Unbelievable catch
by Jeffrey Howard. Just a sophomore, but he's able to pull it in.
Nice blocking by Victor Carter and Calvin Greenwood. Hankins just puts it up. He just out-jumps his man.
Good coverage.
He just out-jumps him. That was good coverage.
Jeffrey Howard, one of those original guys that came out for this team, and Howard was a guy, and I'll tell you the story about him. One of the best stories you'll ever hear about a college football player. I'll tell you about it in just a moment. 3:43 to go. Looking to take the lead. Fade route to the corner. And a penalty marker is down. Wow. They ran into that golf cart there on the side. Everybody's all right. And I have a feeling they're going to move the golf carts. Maybe one play too late.
Throws the fade route, just gets it too deep. Watch the golf. Boy, they need to get those off the field.
And they are way off the. I mean, they're a good. They're good 12 yards off the field. No flag.
Picked it up. Watch the very end. This thing's 12 yards off, but you can see these guys. He just shoves Huggins up into that. It's a lucky young man. Dodged a bullet.
So 2nd down and 9. 5 catches, 68 yards for Felton Huggins. Well, what a game we have had. 7-3, low on the scoring, but both teams have been able to go up and down the field. Just hadn't been able to put it in the end zone. It's going to back it up 5.
It's like Victor Carter jumped. Number 75, the right tackle.
It's going to be 2nd and goal. They'll move it back to the 14-yard line. That doesn't make for a happy head coach. Although in this offense, sometimes it's a little easier. Oh, forget about that. It goes against McNeese. That'll go down to the 4-yard line. I was going to say when you bring it out to the 14, gives you a little bit more room to run or a lot more room to have to cover for the defense. But instead, they move it down to the 4-yard line. 2nd down goal. Tommy Tate's team is in a ball game. Handoff Robinson. Trying to break it through. Touchdown Lions. How about that with 3 minutes and 34 seconds to go?
Great second effort on this play. You can see Osprey and Jared Mason just.
I think he kind of got lost. He kind of got lost back there.
He did. He was stopped right at the 5. You can see the second effort. He just keeps his leg chugging. Touchdown.
Stephen Barrett, number 18, never saw him come out of that pile. Point after he missed it. It was a bad snap, and that could be huge. So Jim Hall, with a bad snap, hooked the extra point. Is there a penalty marker down? There is, across the way. Talk about huge penalties. There was movement in the off. This was off from the very beginning. They never set the offensive line. Now you would think after scoring 46 points last week, that extra point unit would be used to getting out on the field.
You think it'd be a well-oiled machine, wouldn't you?
So nonetheless, 3:34 to go, and Southeastern Louisiana, the team that was the upstart program who gave up 58 points to this McNeese squad a year ago, they've got the lead.
They don't look like an upstart program.
No, they don't.
Do they?
And a lot of credit going to Al Mummy, their head coach. When it took them, you see, there's Robinson right there, and may have a cut over his eye. Big plays on that drive to keep it going.
You can see how Mummy adjusts the offensive game plan. He's going to start playing the time of possession now that he's got a running game established. He doesn't have to drop back and throw the ball every down.
That's been the difference. Ray Perkins has just absolutely killed them, not in the air, on the ground. Talking about the running back from Southeastern. Whitehead and Franklin back deep. This will be Whitehead from the goal line. Whitehead running it out to the 20-yard line, knocked down at the 21. We'll be back with you again next week. Come to you from Huntsville, Texas. Sam Houston State, a team trailing right now by 3 at Southwest Missouri State, will take on Montana at home. Florida Atlantic travels to San Marcos. That's a 12:30 game on October 9th. 21st, a Thursday nighter, as Northwestern State heads to Thibodaux, Louisiana. And SFA playing host to this McNeese team on Saturday, November 13th, a 1 o'clock game. Those games you can see right here on FSN Southwest. 7 play drive, 63 yards for Hal Mummy's ball club. Up the middle they go. Not a whole lot there again. His second down is coming up. That time Chris Thomas fighting for the 3 feet he gets, just a pickup of 1. Second down and 9 coming up as the clock continues to move. Down to 3 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the first half. Reminder, we'll be taking you back to the studio coming up at halftime. Scores and highlights from around the nation. They throw this one over the middle. It's caught. Marcus Singleton, and Singleton to the 45-yard line. A gain of 24 yards. And a McNeese first down. And boy, it has been a while since McNeese has gotten anything going offensively. That's a big play, one they needed in a bad way.
Singleton just got off the line of scrimmage clean, just ran a skinny post. Pendarvis delivered the ball accurately. You're right, they did need that.
Senior that's been around quite some time in this program from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Clock moving, 2:45 to go. Pendarvis again sets up, going deep, looking for the home run ball, and it was covered extremely well by Charles Hall as he was there step for step, had great inside position on the intended receiver, Henry Smith.
Good corner play by Southeastern. Pendarvis has gone deep, what, 3 to 4 times now. Corners have had great coverage, inside-out coverage. They're forcing Pendarvis and that McNeese State team to play in front of them. They're not going to give up the big play.
So second down and 10. Cowboys with the ball, trailing 9-7. Again, straight drop to throw. Throws it complete to Chris Thomas. Midfield inside Southeastern territory. And he gets hit and rode down hard by Pittman, but not before he gets down to the 40-yard line. Another first down for McNeese as the clock stops to set the chains with 2:31 to go.
Pendarvis is simply going to take what the defense has given him, which is his outlet. He'll take 15 yards anytime. Smart heads-up play. The corners have coverage downfield.
Charlie Pittman got low for that tackle. So it's first down and 10 from the 42. Again, Thomas, 40, 35, down to the 32-yard line. And now the McNeese offense is clicking for the first time in a long time. And it's second down in the yard after the gain of 9. McNeese got on the board first. Led it 7-0. Southeastern Louisiana came back, made it 7-3, missed the extra point.
Open.
Look at this, complete, and that's 6 for number 6. Drew Blanchard hauled it in and took it to the house. And just like that, the Cowboys are right back on top.
Play action, busted coverage. Burton Gee squats on the tight end coming out underneath. It just lets the guy creep behind him. 7 points.
So looking for it to be a 14-9 game, and Travis Pickering comes in and kicks the point after. But it didn't take long. Maybe it was a wake-up call the Cowboys needed. After trailing in this game for a very short period of time, less than 2 minutes, to get the ball back, a short drive, and the Cowboys lead it by a score of 14-9. Tommy Tate talking with his young kicker about what they want to do with this situation with 1:40 left. Keep in mind, Pickering has kicked the ball out of bounds twice so far in this game.
He's done it twice, it looked like. They were trying to keep the ball away from the return guys from Southeastern. Of course, he was kicking into the wind. He's kicking in the wind now.
Yeah, Southeastern Louisiana, a team that, as we said, its second year in this program after last year reviving a program that had been, well, in the mothballs for 18 years. Basically, a lot of former players in the Hammond area said, let's get back. Let's get playing football once again. They had a lot of money to raise, a big job. They began by raising $5 million in 2001. That was in private monies. They hired Hal Mumme shortly thereafter. He had an upstart program. They make an $8.3 million impact on that Hammond area. Hal Mumme put up a sign, said, if you want to play football for Southeastern Louisiana, come out to a tryout. He got 300 guys. He said, guys, we're going to have to pare this down just a little bit.
He said he cut it to 150 after a couple weeks. Imagine that, 150 guys.
A low lining kick to the 15-yard line. Out to the 25, may have been a loose football.
Looks like there's a scramble.
You know, the risk you run in any time, obviously if you're going to kick it low like that, you're not going to have as much time to cover the kick. But that said, you generally have guys catching the football that aren't used to running with the football in that situation. I think that was the case right there.
That's true. Sometimes when you try that pooch kick, you know, you have one of these big tight ends with those gloves and everything else wrapped on his hands. You're right.
So 92 seconds to go in the first half. First down and 10 for the Lions. Southeastern trailing now 14-9 and complete to Huggins. Huggins knocked out of bounds on the far sideline by Jonathan Walker after a gain of a couple. Clock stops, minute 27 left.
How about the confidence of Hankins and his arm strength? These guys are close ball game for the number 6 ranked team in the country. Inside their own 20, throwing a 15-yard out. It's a confident bunch.
Oh, a good reason right now for Hal Mumme's ball club. Second down and 8. Throws this one complete and out of bounds at the 40-yard line, but a gain of 13 yards on the play. Once again, Felton Huggins, the man who got to the open spot.
Felton Huggins is going to come in the left side of your screen. He just settles, beats his man. Just a straight dig. He just beats his man.
Huggins is listed at 6'4", 170 pounds.
He doesn't look 170 pounds, does he?
He can catch the football when he knows what to do with it once he gets it. From the 40. Throws this one in the flat, complete to Perkins, and Perkins wisely gets out of bounds. And a penalty marker coming down at the end of the play. I think he got a hand on the face mask. That was, I think it was Kenton Eileen that got a hand in there. There at the end of the,
yeah, you're right.
That's going to be 15 yards.
You got the 15-yard face mask.
When you see the head move like that, and Eileen got there in a hurry, but you can't do that.
It's going to help Southeastern. They got 2 timeouts left, plenty of time.
Exactly 70 seconds to go. You could read his lips. He said, that's terrible. Kenton Eileen, though, he'll be the first to tell you that that's who he was talking to. He was talking to his player, not to the officials, because clearly the headgear moved over to the side. Usually when you see that, that's when you're going to see a 15-yard penalty. So first down and 10 from the 37-yard line. Crowd getting into it. And the whistles blow.
McNeese safeties were just coming up, faking the blitz. Little cat and mouse game.
You know, if you're a receiver or a quarterback, I would think it wouldn't take long for Hal Mumme to get you reeled in. I mean, when you think about what he has been able to do with this program, keep in mind Hankins last week, he was 36 yards short of setting the all-time 1AA record.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Held by quarterback at Weber State. Throws this one and incomplete. Just stopped the hands of Jeffrey Howard. Just led him a little bit too much.
It's going to be 2nd and 15. They still have the 2 timeouts left. At this point, you got to be thinking field goal. Now, their place kicker, Jeff Hall, has a leg and he's kicking with the wind. So I'm thinking if he just picks up 7-8 yards, go at halftime, 14-12 ball game.
Yeah, he's going to have to pick up, though. Yeah, you're right. Probably.
He's got a 50, 55-yard leg with the wind.
Hankins, good coverage downfield, throws it complete. And down to the 28-yard line. He got near the first down. Hutch Gonzalez, under a minute to go, as Hutch Gonzalez going to be close to the first down. I believe he's going to be about a half-yard short. So it'll be a 3rd down coming up.
Watch Gonzalez. This is a design play where he cuts in and then automatically reverses out. Great timing, great delivery of that pass by Hankins.
Less than a yard to go for the first down. 35 seconds to go in the first half. Clock moving. And I'm guessing that Southeastern Louisiana called a timeout.
They called a timeout. Hal Mumme just wants to make sure they understand they're down in distance.
Look at the numbers. 19 of 30, 173 yards. Has not thrown an interception in this game. Hankins last week going with those numbers. 30 of 41, threw for 338 yards in the second half alone, 588 on the game. Well, McNeese State doesn't get any easier next week. They play host to Youngstown State. Then they go to Portland to take on the Portland State Vikings. Southern Utah. The conference season starts against Northwestern State in Natchitoches. They go out of conference, then back in for the rest. You can see that SFA game on the 13th of November here on FSN Southwest. Southeastern, well, not quite as tough for them, but they do stay in the conference at least next week. Texas State. And then they will go to Sam Houston, and then they're off to play their independent schedule after that. But stay against the conference for 3 straight weeks, and why not? Because next week, or next year, I should say, 2005, they will be playing in the Southland Conference. Well, young Cowboy fans looking for their defense to step up. Third down and about a half-yard to go for the first. They're going up top. It is caught inside the 5-yard line. What a catch by Brooks Jordan.
Unbelievable catch by Jordan.
Oh, the junior from Silsbee, Texas. Who needs the other hand?
Watch this one-hand grab. Wow. That's like the Mike Williams catch from last year from SC. Unbelievable catch.
And you know, it wasn't bad coverage by Cedric Lars. Lars was with him step for step. And he pulls that one in.
It was a perfectly placed football.
So now it's decision time. You've got 22 seconds to go. You're down at the 4-yard line. Obviously, you want to get 6 points out of this. That would be the perfect situation. But at the same time, you don't want the time to run out. Put yourself in a situation where you don't get anything out of it.
Well, you got 2 timeouts. So, and you can also spike the ball. So I don't think they're going to, I think they're going to take at least 2 shots into the end zone minimum. 1 timeout? 1 timeout, check that.
1 timeout remaining. Want to use it wisely here, obviously, because it's first down and goal. And get the most out of their 22 seconds of time, which is left. Martin Hankins, we heard so much about him coming in as a passer, and he is not disappointed.
Be a good time for the slant. The slot receiver or the fade without much real estate.
I say watch Ray Perkins. It's wide open, blown coverage, touchdown. Felton Huggins, there wasn't a blue jersey within 15 yards of him. And how about that? Is Southeastern not intimidated on the road at all?
There wasn't a DB within 10 to 15 yards of Huggins. He just turned him around, just a breakdown in coverage. You can see the DBs.
Everybody chased the crossing pattern.
You're right.
That may be the easiest touchdown catch he gets all season, and he almost missed that one. Just inside the right upright. So Martin Hankins putting on a passing offense. Felton Huggins quieting the crowd.
Hankins steps up to the line, sees the coverage, calls the audible, throws the fade, and the DBs were just covering the crossing route. He was wide open for 7.
Third touchdown catch of the season. 2 of those coming obviously last week, and number 3, a big one.
What's amazing to me, Kevin, is just the composure and the confidence that this quarterback is, and Huggins is playing. These guys are in sync. Their timing is good. They're not intimidated at all by this McNeese State team.
It's almost as if they have nothing to lose. They know they're a second-year program that, you know, whatever we do is great. I mean, if we play them close, people are going to go, hey, you played McNeese close. I mean, they are in a no-lose situation from the standpoint of perception. And now, Mummy, just talking with him this week, you couldn't find a better guy with a personality or a temperament to get a program going, to know that it's going to be a long haul, because he's just as laid back as it can be, at least, you know, with us, and you know, he just kind of takes it for what it is.
Great guy, great guy. It's just amazing how quickly he has assembled the number of athletes and really made this team gel.
You know, only Bear Bryant and Jerry Claiborne are the only other coaches in Kentucky history to take the Wildcats to back-to-back bowl games. That's pretty good company when you start talking about coaches and Bear Bryant trying to break it through out to the 32-yard line, and that is where McNeese will have the ball, but just 9 seconds left on the clock.
Well, we asked him the question toward the end of our conference call last week about the team's attitude, their confidence level playing such a highly ranked team. And he took it straight on. He said, look, we're a young football team, but we're awfully athletic. We think we can line up. We think we got a good game plan. We got a great quarterback, good running backs. Our defense is solid. We think we can play with these guys.
Come into the conference next year, the conference may be wondering what they're getting themselves into. Although there is still another half of football left to be played. Hey, but the first half, if you're a Southeastern Louisiana fan or a fan of football in Southern Louisiana, you have got to be happy with what you've seen in this first half of play. Last year, McNeese beat the Lions 58-20. What a difference a year makes, as the Lions lead this one at halftime by a score of 16-14. We'll take a break. We'll take you to our FSN Southwest studios in just a moment.
And if you're considering a larger digital TV, this is a nice 51-inch Sony. Check it out. Now, come on. Really check it out.
Oh, yeah. The one you want. From widescreen to plasma, we've got the digital TV that's right for you. In fact, we've sold more than anyone else. Circuit City, we're with you.
What are you doing?
Shopping.
Driver's license number, make and model, number of drivers, the number, submit. No.
Hey, think easier. Think Progressive. We give you our direct rate for car insurance, plus the rates of other top companies instantly. Go to Progressive.com.
Work. They say it doesn't get any easier.
I'm gonna see a better day.
But your day will get a whole lot better with a Rhino lining sprayed on bed liner. Now your truck can work as hard as you do.
It's tough. I'm tough.
Rhino lining's tough stuff protects your truck so you can play hard and it won't break. It's so tough, it's warranted by your dealer to last as long as you own your truck.
I'm good.
drop-in liners can trap water underneath, rusting out your truck bed. Water can't get under a Rhino lining. It prevents rust.
13 years, 200,000 miles, and 2 engines. But still the original Rhino lining.
Remember, it's not a genuine Rhino lining without this emblem. So get the toughness of a Rhino's armor to protect your truck. Call now for a free sample of Tough Stuff, information, and the Rhino Linings dealer nearest you.
This is my day, baby.
Once and for all, the greatest is about to leave his mark. It's the Poker Superstars Invitational. For the first time in history, the 8 greatest players gather to finally answer the question, who is the world's best poker player? No amateurs, no jokers, no mercy. Learn from the masters. The Poker Superstars Invitational, tomorrow, only on FSN.
Time from Lake Charles, Louisiana, and Hal Mummy's offense of Southeast Louisiana in control by a deuce over McNeese State right here on FSN. And welcome into our FSN studios. I'm Rick Renner. We'll get you back out to the second half in just a moment. But first, let's get you caught up with all the scores and highlights from around the region. A rough weekend for the Big 12 North. The upset of the day happened right here on FSN as the Fresno State Bulldogs travel to Manhattan, Kansas. And through the magic of TV, we go there. Fresno State's Pat Hill fired up, taunting the Kansas State fans. Paul Penninger gets picked off by Brett Jones, who takes it 43 yards to the house. And Coach Pat Hill is not thrilled. Wildcats up 7-0. But the Bulldogs would answer back. Dwayne Wright bowls his way into the end zone for the score, and we are tied at 7s. We go to the second frame. The Bulldogs lead at 24-14. Off the punt return, Adam Jennings waits for the bounce, then just takes off. He's going right, he's going left, he's tight-roping down the sidelines. 40 yards later, deep into Kansas State territory. Special teams, a big player today for Kansas State. Penninger scrambles right, and he will dive into the end zone. Yes, Penninger and the Bulldogs running away with it. A shocker. Third quarter, Bulldogs cruising. Penninger throws the screen pass here to Matt Rivera, who takes it to the Riviera. His second touchdown of the game, and Fresno State knocks off the number 13 team in the land, 45-21. Telling stat, Heisman Trophy candidate Darren Sproles, 11 carries, 37 yards. Wyoming and Texas A&M, Gene Stallings and the Junction Boys on hand for this one. First quarter, Reggie McNeil showed everyone how the injured hand was. Reggie just doing it with his legs. 22 yards untouched, 7-0 Aggies. Congratulated with the good hand. First play of the second half, Justin Warren finds the passing lane, and he is off to the races. He'll take care of the rest. It's 17-0 A&M. Then in the fourth, more from McNeil. Deep down the right side. This one to a true freshman, Kerry Franks. Can I be frank? 84 yards. McNeil, 17 of 24, 297 yards. One throwing, one rushing touchdown. Franks, the future is now. 5 catches, 128 yards. Other finals from around the region. Southern Miss stuns Nebraska in Lincoln. The Cornhuskers with 5 apple turnovers. Air Callahan grounded today. And despite losing its head coach and 15 players to an NCAA investigation before week number 1, Nicholls State, they win their opener, but they lose today to Western Carolina. And Colorado does it with defense against Washington State in Seattle. When we return, we will catch you up with some in-progress games, including the big one in Fayetteville, Arkansas. At halftime, Southeast Louisiana in control by a deuce.
There aren't too many things that are completely free these days. Air is free. Hand-me-downs are free. And advice will always be free. But if you want some really good free stuff, head for Hibernia. Our checking is completely free. You get free online bill paying, a free gift for opening an account, and switching your account to Hibernia is easy. Just stop by any branch, call us toll-free, or visit us online. Because if you really love free stuff, head for Hibernia.
There are 2 sides to me. The all-conference catcher side, that's my tough side. And the side of me studying for a career in marine mammal rescue, that's my soft side. I'm finding I really need both sides to be the whole person that I want to be.
The NCAA helps over 360,000 student athletes succeed in whatever they choose to do.
A degree that will take you anywhere.
Hands-on research.
Personal attention.
Community involvement.
Student success.
Dream. Opportunity. Success. All start at McNeese. McNeese State University. Excellence with a personal touch.
As children, we learn by playing. In time, the competition gets tougher and the lessons have greater consequences. Then one day, we find ourselves on the field of life, where the game is played for keeps and there are no timeouts. It is the mission of the Southland Conference to unite its student athletes and universities in preparation for that day, by building foundations for success with academic excellence, by teaching discipline and perseverance through athletic competition, and by fostering camaraderie and pride in traditions that will sustain our institutions for generations to come. As we ready our student athletes for real-life experiences as leaders and team players on the fields of tomorrow, we take this pause to celebrate them all, as one by one they prepare for the world, each with their own vision, dignity, and integrity, and the pride of being part of a great tradition, the Southland Conference.
Welcome back. It's halftime in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Hal Mummy's offense and Woody Woodenhofer's defense doing it for Southeastern Louisiana. Well, more games in and around the region today, including the Oklahoma Sooners at home hosting the Houston Cougars, who were sacked 9 times last week by Rice and their defense. Today, a different story early on. American flag handed out on the anniversary of 9/11. U of H, third play of the game. Kevin Kolb hooks up with Kendall Briles. Yeah, that's the coach's kid. And look at him go! 65 yards. That would set up a short TD run. 7-zip H-Town. But then Jason White doing a little scrambled eggs himself. And he'll look and find his favorite target, Mark Clayton, who comes up with it on the 1. That would set up a Sooner TD. We got a 7-7 ball game. Then the Sooners get crazy. They flea flicker here. Mark Bradley, 51 yards, and it's 6 more. It's kind of like a clinic for OU and the Sooners. Then it's 35-7 when Houston punts to Antonio Perkins. Not a good idea. Looking for his NCAA tying 8th punt return for a touchdown. And he's got it. He ties former Texas Tech standout Wes Welker, and OU wins this one big. They're now 2-0 to the old Southwest Conference matchup of the day. UT and Vietnam taking on the Hawks. And Vince Young hooking up with David Thomas, the tight end, 49 yards on the score. Arkansas answers, then Sed Benson with the big run. He's got over 100 yards. He gets in for the score at 16-7. Texas in the second. More scores from around the region. LSU winning big at halftime. Baylor was winning big, and now it's got a little bit closer. Oklahoma State all over Tulsa, and the game for the Iron Skillet. It's a heavy one. TCU is going to get it again for a 6th consecutive time. Howard Schnellenberger's Florida Atlantic out of Boca Raton leading North Texas in the Mean Green. It's Northwestern State over Jackson State. And how about this? Major upset brewing here. New Mexico leading Texas Tech, and Southwest Missouri State in control, and it's early with Stephen F. Austin. Hey, a programming note. Next week, our Southland game of the week takes us to Huntsville, Montana, and Sam Houston State, 7 p.m. kickoff only on FSN Southwest. And coming up after the game, the Chevron Hardcore Football Show. We'll have every score and every highlight humanly possible, so keep the dial right here for Brian Jones, Bill Jones, Greg Hill, and of course the good-looking one, that's Rick Renner. It's halftime in Lake Charles, Louisiana. When we come back, second half action, John Berger and Kevin Eschenfelder will take it from here. Hal Mummy's offense, the Shocker, leading by a deuce over McNeese State. We'll be back with the second half. Enjoy it, everybody.
With nowhere to go as he pitches to the halfback. Wow, is he Pelayed for about a 10-yard loss on the play. They read that one.
Brings to mind the Romans crushing defeat in a critical battle just outside of modern-day Turkey, AD 378. Ultimately, it meant the fall of the empire.
Great crowd tonight, Chuck?
At its height, Rome numbered over 1 million people.
Hibernia, official bank of Southland Conference Athletics.
It was well policed. Sanitation was excellent.
And Southland Conference Academics.
for your family. We understand. Your State Farm agent is there with life insurance options to help you protect your family's financial future. For life insurance, call your State Farm agent today.
In Hammond, see your good neighbor, State Farm agent Doug Johnson, for your insurance needs.
Your friends have found out. Your neighbors have known it.
Now it's time for you to discover the Ross Downing difference.
It's the price.
Oh, I saved a bunch.
I know I saved over $4,000.
Tahoe's from an incredible $24,988.
I know I got the right truck. I got the right price.
Trailblazers from only $18,498.
Come in now, this very minute if you can.
Now I see why price makes people hurry to Hammond.
What a great time to come to Ross Downing Chevrolet, where price makes people hurry to Hammond.
Remember when there were only a few TV channels and parents could easily keep track of what their kids watched? There's much more choice today. There are hundreds of cable programs, and making the right choices isn't always easy. One great choice is for families to communicate and decide together on what to watch. Help is available in the form of parental controls through your cable company and the V-Chip. For more information on how to choose the programming for your home, contact your cable company or visit this website.
Control.
You're watching FSN.
Hey, welcome back to Lake Charles, Louisiana Cowboy Stadium, where Southeastern leading the McNeese State Cowboys by a score of 16-14. And Sonny Watkins, the athletic director here at McNeese, nice enough to stop by. And I guess you're as surprised as anyone is what's happened here in this first half. We're going to talk about that in just a moment, but this is a big weekend for everyone here at McNeese State. You got the Hall of Fame inductions tonight.
Yes, sir. We sure, every year our first home game, we either have 2, 3, or 4 inductees. This year we had 5. 2 of them were former tennis players that were champions in our conference. One of them was a basketball player that played on our 56 National NAIA Championship, and then we had a young lady that was all Louisiana here for 3 years in a row, and of course R.C. Slocum was coached at A&M, was a graduate of here, and he was one of them.
And if you ever wanted to induct RC, you only had to wait about 25 years, because I think this may be the first Saturday RC's had off for the football season in that long.
You know, tonight when we were in there and he spoke at the end, he said it's been 32 years since I had a Saturday night off. Yeah.
So it's been a long time coming, and I tell you, these programs that you've been able to put together as good as anybody here in the Southland Conference, you got to be very proud about that.
Yes, sir, we are. Started a long time ago. Had a lot of good people that started this years ago, and they just kept the tradition going. And we've been very fortunate that we've been able to recruit good athletes, you know, at our level, and we've had some good success. We just hope we can continue.
And you talk about the recruiting part of that, and you've also had a lot of people that cared about this university. Talking about Tommy Tate, a guy who played here, a guy who coached here as an assistant for years and years, and now your head coach.
Yeah, Tommy, when we lost our last coach, he moved on. Tommy had been here 21 years. He played and started coaching immediately after he finished, and he's done a great job. You know, this is his 4th year, and we've been in the playoffs every year.
Sonny, congratulations, and thanks very much for stopping by.
Thank you so much.
Sonny Watkins, the athletic director here at McNeese State University. 16-14 is the halftime score. Time now for our Hibernia Bank Classroom champions. And we start with Southeastern Louisiana as William Shinsky, the linebacker. He's a senior with a 3.3 GPA, a major in chemistry. Named one of 4 captains on this team, a very good player on the field as well as in the classroom. And the same can be said for McNeese quarterback Scott Pendarvis. He's a Hibernia classroom champion on the McNeese side. He's a graduate student right now, been named All Southland Conference the last 2 years, second team All Conference academic the last 2 years as well, but not second team. That was first team. All right, let's break down this first half a little bit. I think anyone coming into this game, you pretty much expected, for the most part, we talk about this, we say, what do you think is going to happen? And I think a lot of people expected Southeastern Louisiana to score points, but at that said, they were going to give up a lot more than they scored. Right now, they've got a 16-14 lead at halftime.
Well, they are playing good football, but I think when you look at them on the offensive side of the ball, they've really changed their game plan and the way they're attacking the McNeese. Quarterback Martin Haskins is really throwing the ball well. downfield in the vertical passing game, and they're also establishing the running game and jacking up the time of possession.
Yeah, Southeastern Louisiana having to come on the road here to McNeese, you would think that they would be a little bit intimidated from the standpoint. They've never played probably in front of a crowd quite this big, but absolutely not. They've stepped up and they've been awfully tough.
Well, we talked about that with Hal Mumme earlier in the week about, this is a young football team. He said they're very athletic. We asked him the question point blank, what about their confidence level coming in to play the 6th ranked team in the country? And he said, look, we're a bunch of young guys. We're very athletic, and I don't think they're going to back down. I think we're seeing that tonight.
Let's talk about the first half highlights. And it started with a low light as far as McNeese was concerned, because this is, when you talk about Scott Pendarvis, rarely does he make mistakes or bad decisions, and this was one right there.
Yeah, Pendarvis just throws a shot put. Chris Hall. It's very uncharacteristic of him.
This was with a fake punt, and this was one where it was unfortunate for Southeastern Louisiana because they picked up the first down, but they fumbled the ball, and it would lead to a Chris Bush touchdown that puts McNeese State on top by a score of 7-0. But the flip side of that, Robinson came right back as Terry Robinson took it in and put Southeastern on top for the first time. It took about 35 seconds, and here a little pitch and catch as McNeese goes right back on top before the end of the half. Just when you thought everything was going McNeese State's way, Southeastern comes up strong with the big play, and that was a huge catch there, and they really came up with the big plays when they needed them, particularly down the stretch. That's why they lead it right now by 2.
Yeah, they did. They really, like I said, they really got the vertical passing game established, and they're chewing up the clock with the running game, which was unexpected. I think McNeese is seeing some things that they didn't expect out of the Southeastern ball club.
Obviously, we're going to see a lot of adjustments in the second half. Ray Perkins' was ability to run the football, I think, may have been as big a surprise as anybody to Southeastern in that first half, as he was able to pick up big yardage as well. You think about the air attack with Southeastern able to run it on the ground as well. We're going to take a break, but we've got more to come. A surprise halftime score, 16-14. The guys in the white jerseys leading it at the break.
There aren't too many things that are completely free these days. Air is free. Hand-me-downs are free. And advice will always be free. But if you want some really good free stuff, head for Hibernia. Our checking is completely free. You get free online bill paying, a free gift for opening an account, and switching your account to Hibernia is easy. Just stop by any branch, call us toll-free, or visit us online. Because if you really love free stuff, head for Hibernia.
It's the cool, crisp feel of an autumn afternoon. The smell of burgers sizzling on tailgates. The brassy sounds of a marching band. And the roar of a mighty throng of fans. This is football in the Southland. A grand tradition of gridiron greatness. Where raw recruits make their bids to rise above the deeds of yesterday's heroes. It's here that legends are born and stories unfold. Of triumphant victories and despairing defeats. This is Southland football, where helmet meets helmet, pad meets pad, and with a lot of sweat and a little luck, a pigskin makes it into the promised land. This is no dance contest. This is butt-kicking, bulldog, smash-mouth football in the finest tradition of the game. There is no better way to spend a Saturday afternoon. It's Southland football, for crying out loud. Now get out there and live it!
Love movies on your schedule? Get hooked on Charter on Demand with Charter Digital. Or call 1-888-GET-CHARTER to get digital. Order what you want, when you want. Hundreds of movies, plus programming from HBO, Showtime, Cinemax, and Kids Unlimited. Charter on Demand lets you rewind, fast forward, and pause. And there's no equipment to buy and no risk ever. Like a video, only better. Get Charter. Get hooked. And order the programming you want right now on Channel 999.
It's Toyota time, the nationwide clearance event. The year's biggest event. You've got to act now. Get clearance savings on Toyota's full SUV lineup. Highlanders now have $1,500 rebates. Buy Sequoia with big $1,500 rebates. Or buy the rugged 4Runner with $1,500 in rebates. Or save with 0% financing. Toyota time. Selection, value, clearance, now. At your Toyota Power Team.
So Southeastern Louisiana with a 16-14 lead as we start play here in the second half. Jim Hall to punt it, to kick it away. Beg your pardon. Charlize Franklin back deep for long. with Stephen Whitehead, and Stephen Whitehead will get the ball to start the second half. Cowboys trailing it by 2. Whitehead breaking through to the 30, to the 35-yard line, and spun down there. For a nice 35-yard return and good field position for the Cowboys to start here in the second half.
That's the way you want to open up the ball game. Whitehead just finds a crease and just turns it on.
Watch, he's not quite. This guy stood up, took 2 steps, and he was going down. That is Damon Babineau, if I'm not mistaken. That's 50. Yeah, it's Damon Babineau. These jerseys are so tight that sometimes the numbers get distorted. You can't tell if it's 58 or 59. Babineau took 2 steps, and he went right back down to the ground. They want to keep an eye on him for a few minutes. I think he's a candidate to have his helmet hid. Hand it off. Henry Smith trying to get the corner, does, and blasted out of bounds. And there's a penalty marker comes in. That is not a smart play at all. Mayo came there and knocked him out of bounds after he had stepped out.
Can't afford to give a team like McNeese those cheap yards. They're going to tack on another 15 for unsportsmanlike conduct.
I think it was. Romelise Mayo. Carr High School in New Orleans. And you know, that's tough too, because you're coming out there to make a tackle. And sometimes you're not looking down at the marker. I guess you need to.
Well, the thing that confuses you as a defensive player, if you look down on the field, is the sidelines white, but then they have those tarps, so it's hard to tell when you're running full speed when to let up like that.
Now Mummy not happy with that call. They throw this one complete in the flat. Chris Thomas, and Thomas to the 30-yard line, down to the 29.
McNeese has had that play open all night long. Southeastern has never adjusted to that play. They just flood one area and drive off the corners and just throw it underneath Whitehead. They picked up 10, 15, 20 yards each time they've run that play.
This time they pick up 16. And it's a first down and 10 from the 29-yard line. Half minute deep in the second half. McNeese, the number 6 team in the nation. Trailing it by 2, but the way things are going, not for long as they get down to the 21-yard line as they are driving. Chris Thomas, once again, and he has really been a load in this game. You know, the thing about Thomas was the fact that we saw him, he was great on the opening possession, and they kind of went away from Thomas after that.
Well, they did, but you're also seeing Cody LeBlanc, left tackle, really starting to lean on some guys. This guy's a veteran offensive lineman. Very strong, very athletic, and there's running up behind him.
Pitch it back, Thomas again. Thomas to the 20-yard line. And Thomas going down there. Thomas, a sophomore. He's from Slidell, Louisiana. They talk about, you know, he's a great attitude kid. Always has a smile on his face. Man, you can't have enough of those guys in your locker room. Had just 1 carry against Southern last week. Again, bumps and bruises really limited his practice the week before. Chris Bush got most of the carries against Southern. Got shape in a hurry tonight. Big hole for Thomas. Sprinting through to the 15-yard line. Lost the ball. And Southeastern has it. Marvin Jones came up with the football. So a tough break as Chris Thomas couldn't hold on to it. Would have been great field position for McNeese.
Jess Demmer just blows open a wide hole. And you can see that he just coughs up the football.
Charles Hall just put a helmet on it.
Yeah,
17, watch. And right there was Marvin Jones to fall on the football. 17 hit it. Junior from Gulfport, Mississippi. That's Charles Hall.
He's had an interception and a fumble return at this point in the ball game. He's having some big numbers.
He's the man that had the interception in the end zone back in the first quarter. So here we go. Southeastern with the ball, leading by 2. Perkins, if he can break this outside, gets out to the 19-yard line. Long way to run for a gain of 3. Once again, Stephen Bennett, the free safety. There, the preseason all-conference player to make the tackle. He had 11 tackles last week. Here you see why.
Nice pursuit on the backside.
For a free safety to have 11 tackles in a game, that is a busy night. The reverse. Hutch Gonzalez. Gonzalez cutting back against the grain and maybe right back to the line of scrimmage. It's one of those plays and a late flag comes in. Wow. What would have been a 3rd down and 10, or a 3rd down and 8, I beg your pardon, is going to turn into a 1st down and 10 after a 15-yard penalty.
Hutch Gonzalez just takes it to his left and cuts it up. What you can watch after the play here.
Yeah. That he got his hand up in his face.
He stuck it in his throat.
Travis Moses. That's just not a smart play by Travis Moses. He had his hand inside the face mask, and he was clearly caught.
You can't let a team with this much momentum off the hook like that with the turnover and now the 15-yarder.
But look at the difference. Only 2 penalties called against Southeastern tonight. First and 10 from the 35. This one throw, pitch and catch, complete to Huggins, and Huggins out to the 43-yard line.
Talk about the penalty difference, Kevin. I think what you're starting to see is the frustration on behalf of the defensive players at McNeese. First of all, they've been on the field a long time, and now they found themselves in a ball game, which they probably took this team lightly coming into it.
You know, this is such a rhythmic offense, too. The fact that whenever it starts really getting under rhythm, I mean, it starts clicking, and that's what you don't want to have happen if you're McNeese. But that's what's happening right now. You know, the problem is that when you did stop them, you give them a 15-yard penalty, get things going back the other way, and now Robinson picks up the 1st down. So they pick up 12 of their own on the last 2 plays. Terry Robinson last week got his first collegiate carry. Picked up just 47 yards on picked up 47 yards on 6 carries, but you got to be able to catch the ball in this offense. He also had 100 yards receiving last week for Terry Robinson. That man threw for 588 yards last week. They hold on here. They'll forget last week in a hurry. Huggins is open. Touchdown, Southeastern.
Unbelievable.
There's going to be a dead ball penalty marker on this play, but it's going to be after the play.
Excessive celebration.
We'll see.
Huggins deep again, just torches that one-on-one coverage. Throws the linebackers in the corners with a fake to the Hutch on the reverse. Hankins just steps up. He is wide open. He's beating the safety by 3 steps at this point right now.
Well, now Southeastern Louisiana, you know, this is a big penalty in this sense. This may have been one of those situations where you would have looked to go for 2 because you already lead by 8. To go ahead and give yourself a 10-point lead. Well, I need one of those cards.
Yeah. You need the wristband, right?
Although this will make it a 2-score game if you can make the extra point. Who'd have thought the first 2 weeks of college football we'd be talking about extra points as much as we have, but we certainly have. And that extra point is good. Huggins on the receiving end. The big play man puts his team on top 23-14.
The only sports network that puts Southwest fans first. The Southwest Sports Report, nightly at 10. Where Southwest fans come first. FSN Southwest.
Yeah, I'm calling about my car insurance claim. And since you're like the 100th person I talked to,
My claim number is 54737-85Q. Name Mark Powell with 2 L's. Yes, it was a fender bender. No, it wasn't.
Hey, think easier. Think Progressive. We give you one person who's responsible for your claim from start to finish, so it's easier to get back on the road. Go to Progressive.com.
A special announcement from the Bargain Network. You can buy cars for as low as $500. Choose from thousands of cars repossessed and seized by the U.S. Customs, IRS, FBI, and private organizations. Call 800-831-6931. Foreclosed homes and distressed properties are selling for as low as $199 a month. HUDs, VAs, and FHAs, repos, and more.
Through the Bargain Network, I got my dream car, and I saved a lot of money.
New cars and homes are being added every day. For listings in your area, call now. 800-831-6931. Call now.
Tonight after the Southland Conference game on Chevron Hardcore Football, you'll get highlights on all the big games in college football in the Southwest, including Texas, Arkansas, A&M, Wyoming, and Oklahoma, Houston. Tonight on Chevron Hardcore Football.
I'm Max from New York with Max Kellerman. Weeknights on FSN.
Southeastern shocking McNeese State right now, 23-14 here in the third quarter. They'll kick it off from the 20. And they assess the 15-yard unsportsmanlike on the kickoff. So a low liner. I mean, should be great field position for McNeese. Well, once again, tomorrow, America's #1 pregame show is back, and in week 1, we'll take a close look at Joe Gibbs' return to the NFL, plus Giant star Michael Strahan goes 10 yards with Terry Bradshaw, who asks the questions nobody else dares. Fox NFL Sunday returns tomorrow at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. So McNeese with the football from the 47-yard line. They'll go I formation here on 1st down and 10. McNeese shocked as anyone with the developments that they have seen in this one tonight. That's Chris Thomas taking it out to midfield. And it is our pleasure to welcome in a man who was inducted into the McNeese Hall of Fame tonight. We know why it took this long, because this is your first Saturday off in 32 years, and I'm talking with R.C. Slocum. Coach, congratulations.
Well, thanks. It's been a great honor to be here at McNeese. I'm just flattered with the award. Seeing a good football game. These guys are getting after it pretty good.
Are you enjoying, as Pendarvis drops back and looking over the middle, complete to Thomas. Thomas to the 40, down to the 37-yard line. Coach, are you enjoying your time? I know this is the first time in forever you've had time off on Saturdays.
Well, yeah, you know, last year I was working with you guys the whole time, every Saturday, so I told John Heike I'd like to have some time this year to do some things that I'd not been able to do, and things like this, come down here, watch a football game, and see some old friends, and it's really been an enjoyable experience. I had quite a number of my teammates came back to be with me and really share this award with me, and had a lot of my family here.
All the way down to the 30-yard line. You spent so much time at Texas A&M. People forgot maybe a little bit that you went to school here.
Well, I'm very proud of having attended McNeese. This school does a great job, and I've really, over the years, been very proud to have played at McNeese, and I really respect what they do with this football program.
You played, Tommy Tate, your last year at Texas A&M, right?
I did. Yeah. We played them, and they gave us all we wanted.
They were ahead at halftime,
right? Yeah, they came in and did almost too good a job. My loyalties, obviously, at the time that night were with Texas A&M, but I really was proud of how McNeese played, but concerned that they played as well as they did.
And I think they opened some eyes. Something that you knew, though, all along is the fact that you look at how many of these kids end up playing on Sundays in the NFL, you realize how much talent they have, and this is good football to watch.
No question. And what happens, today you see the Southern Miss-Nebraska game, and a lot of people around can say, oh, God, can you believe that? I promise you, there's not a coach in college football that was surprised at that score. These teams like this are extremely well coached, and they have good players. You watch the NFL rosters, they've got players from all over the country from schools like McNeese State.
Absolutely. I tell people all the time, well, where did Walter Payton go? He went to a school just like this.
No question. And we see more and more of that, I think, in college football. You look at the game, Troy is one of McNeese over the years' big rivals has been Troy State, and Troy upset Missouri the other night. That didn't surprise me.
Yeah, Troy won this conference. They were in this conference up until the last couple of years here in the Southland Conference. Knocking off Missouri. Pendarvis throwing this one in the flat. Fullback makes the catch, and he's down to the 22-yard line. Jason Miller man with the good hands, tough kid that played with a collapsed lung last year, and he's back, and his father also a player here at McNeese as well. But Coach, it's obviously had to be good to see a lot of the old guys, some guys you hadn't seen in quite some time.
Well, because of my schedule as a coach, I've not had the opportunity to come back here. That was the first time I've been on that field since my senior season, which was 1967.
Wow. Things have changed a little since, huh? At Pendarvis, he's throwing this one, and it's complete at the 10-yard line. You know, they've always had a passion for their football in this area, but it has grown. I would imagine the interest has really grown as opposed to when you were here in 1967.
Oh, it is. I played the first game ever played in this stadium. We opened this stadium up about 1964 or something like that, and they've added on to it a little bit, but they do a great job here filling this stadium up. They get a lot of support, and they put a good product on the field.
It's a first down and goal from just inside the 10-yard line. Pendarvis again. Play action gets nailed back to the 20-yard line. A loss of 10. Well, he had 3-4 set, and that time again it was Put Huron coming off the edge, and he was there to get to Pendarvis in a hurry.
Hurry just bull rushes his guy. I think this is 4 sacks he picked up. Pendarvis didn't have a chance. He never saw him coming.
Best thing you can say about that play for McNeese was the fact that Pendarvis held on to the football.
Well, that, and he's still on the field, right?
That's a good point.
You don't see a guy coming. That'll rattle your feelings.
There's Damian Put Huron, number 3, coming up with a big play. His 3rd quarterback sack of the night. That's a smart play by Pendarvis. It is a former coach knowing about this young man, Scott Pendarvis. You got to like to have somebody that's that smart. Although he's made a bad decision tonight, one time throwing the interception, for the most part, it's good to have a guy like that on the field.
No question. I think he showed a lot of poise and savvy tonight, and really done a good job directing his team. It's been a hard-fought contest. I've been sitting the first half down close to the field, and you forget sometimes just how violent those collisions are. The contact, both of these teams are really getting after each other.
McNeese grad R.C. Slocum visiting with us, inducted into the McNeese Hall of Fame. Going up top, gets double coverage, and it's out of bounds. Good coverage for Southeastern. They were there step for step with Henry Smith.
Coach, when you look at the MAC, you look at this Southland Conference, does this surprise you, the level that these guys can play at? You see that MAC making the big upsets. There's clearly some Division 1A talent on here, out in this field tonight. Does it surprise you?
It really doesn't, because over the years, young people, you get some of these players, they want to go somewhere where they can play, and they see the opportunity to play. That's one thing. And then the second thing is the quality of the coaching. They're good coaches, and the MAC Conference has some excellent coaches, and this league does too.
Well, the field goal is up and good for Travis Pickering. Coach Slocum, thank you very much for stopping by. Congratulations.
Okay, thanks a lot. You guys do great work. I enjoy watching.
Good to see you, Coach.
Good to visit with you. So right now, it's 7:59 to go. The Cowboys get on the board.
In Tangipahoa Parish, one picture is worth 1,000 words. Tangipahoa Parish, we have it all. Come see us soon.
I watch football in the springtime. I watch football in the fall. Oh, I watch football in the winter when it drizzles. I watch football in the summer when it sizzles, baby. I love football every moment of the year. I love football.
Now available on Charter Digital Cable. Call now to subscribe.
Hooked on making life easier? Get hooked on Charter ePay. Now you can pay your bill online, anywhere, at any time. With just a few simple clicks, you can get direct access to your account, view snapshots of your statement, see recent account activity, and more. It's fast, simple, and secure. Simplify your life and save time with Charter ePay. Get rid of your paper bill and visit charter.com to get hooked.
Sports Channel.
watching FSN Southwest.
These guys say go Pokes. Told you, on cue.
The face painters. That guy's fired up on something.
23-17 is their score. It has been quite a night for Southeastern Louisiana. Here you see Shoney Jones back deep. Shoney Francis, I beg your pardon. Francis standing at his 12-yard line, waiting to kick from Pickering.
Sure what that was.
Short kick. Boy, the ball fell off the tee as it was being kicked. It's a windy night. I didn't know it was that windy, though. Pickering instead will get a break. They'll bring it back and let him kick it over again.
I don't think I've ever seen that. Ball falling, I mean, a comic, right? Charlie Brown, but can you imagine you're that kicker running up to kick the ball and the ball just drops off the tee?
Or, you know it's not good when the tee travels further than the ball does. One of your divots when you play golf.
Hurt your toe, too. Been there.
We'll try it once again. Just a tick under 8 minutes to go in the ball game. Southeastern Louisiana leading by a score of 23-17. Another squibber. The 25-yard line. Trying to get back up to the 30, but this may have been negative yardage on the return. Is good coverage down for McNeese. Jamal Jackson on the return, but there wasn't much there, and now it is back on the field for the offense of Southeastern Louisiana, where Martin Hankins has just been lights out tonight.
He really has, and if you look at what they've been attacking McNeese with, you're telling him, look, we're in this ball game, it's 8 minutes left, let's be smart with the football, let's just continue to chip away at him on the corners, let's get Ray Perkins involved.
First down and 10 from the 28-yard line. Throws this one complete. Jamal Jackson and Jackson out to the 34-yard line. Not a big game, but it is enough to get you into a second down and short situation. And the way they've been able to run the ball tonight, I think that's been the difference. They've been able to run the ball tonight well enough to really keep McNeese honest defensively.
Well, they're keeping them honest defensively because look at the split that Southeastern's taking. You know, you wonder why they can't get to the quarterback. First of all, the quarterback's taking a three-step drop and getting the ball away. So even when they try to get upfield, then they're handing the ball underneath to Ray Perkins. You got to pick your poison.
Jamal Jackson, the young man from Mississippi, the junior. His mate at the other side, Felton Huggins, has just been unbelievable today. 6'4" junior, transfer from Grambling by way of Zachary, Louisiana. Came up huge last week and doing it once again today. Huggins, 10 catches, 147 yards. So that means in the last 2 weeks, he has 21 catches for roughly 320 yards. It's the best I could do with quick math. I didn't do very well because he's over 400 yards.
I was going to let that one slide.
Thanks. I correct myself. Ray Perkins down to the 34-yard line.
I would, but it'd take up a whole segment, right?
Over 400 yards of receiving for Huggins over the last 2 weeks.
Looks like Huggins got somebody rolled up on his ankle. He's up and moving around. That's a big loss if they can't get him back.
Good. 15 yards a catch, 2 touchdowns. And his numbers still aren't as good as they were last week. He's having an off night by his standards. And again, he's still got a quarter and a half of football left to play. Here comes the blitz. They pick it up nicely. Going up top again for Huggins. And it's incomplete. Well, that was one that he may have thought he should have caught.
Good defense. Corner was running stride for stride.
Well, Jonathan Walker. Great coverage for McNeese. Libby came in and knocked it away at the last minute. Boy, Huggins had that ball.
He did. He had the hand up. Good coverage, though.
It just shows you the accuracy, though. Where else can you throw that football if you're Martin Hankins? He's throwing it right. I mean, right in the breadbasket.
He has. He's made 3 or 4 of those tosses where nobody else except his guy could have possibly come down with the football.
The one-handed catch earlier in the game that was just unbelievable. Couldn't have thrown the ball any better.
He's a confident young man right now.
Jim Hall to punt it away. Punting this one with the wind. This is a big boomer. Takes it all the way back to the 20-yard line and out to the 25. A 5-yard return after a 40-yard punt.
You know, Hall's an interesting story. Their punter, one of the better athletes on this team. The strength and conditioning coach came out and was talking to me before the game. Said, watch this guy throw the football. The guy was standing with throwing 70-yard passes when he was warming up. The guy's a phenomenal athlete.
Oh, Southland Conference well represented in the national rankings. As you see, you will see number 2 Montana next week here on FSN as they take on Sam Houston State. But right now, McNeese in at number 6, while Stephen F. Austin is number 15. Northwestern State, number 21 in the country in 1AA football. Well, the defense matching up nicely right now for Southeastern Louisiana. There is Woody Weidenhofer, spent 5 years as the head coach at Vanderbilt. He and Hal Mumme got together and said, you know, we always wanted to coach together. Now, this is the man. You talk about a guy that knows of what he speaks. This was the defensive coordinator and defensive line coach on the Pittsburgh Steelers teams from the early 70s through the early 80s, and that's the Steel Curtain. One of the greatest defenses in the history of the National Football League.
And it's interesting when you talk to him. He never brings that up. He's a very humble guy, very soft-spoken. Definitely knows defense.
5 years the head coach at Vanderbilt, defensive line coach and coordinator for the Steelers from 73 to 83. He was the head coach at Missouri, and also he spent 4 years as the defensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. So, you know, they're not going to have any trouble getting good defensive players to come play for them.
Not
as
only
well.
that, but, you know, think of the recruiting advantage you gain there as well.
Out to the 30-yard line, but no more. And Woody Weidenhofer's defense stepping up big and saying, no way. We'll have no part of that. Is Burt McGee, first time we have called his name, strong safety coming up and making the play.
3 and out, that's what you're looking for if you're Southeastern. McNeese has got to pick up the pace here.
And had to punt it into the wind. Shoney Francis back deep.
Should get a return into the wind, punting into the wind. He should be able to return this ball.
That was a low liner, depending on the bounce. Very good bounce for McNeese as it goes out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. Mark it down at the 18, which is where Southeastern will have the football with 4 minutes and 35 seconds to go. Southeastern looking to upset the number 6 team in the country.
With nowhere to go as he pitches to the halfback. Wow, is he Pelayed for about a 10-yard loss on the play. They read that one.
Brings to mind the Romans crushing defeat in a critical battle just outside of modern-day Turkey, AD 378. Ultimately, it meant the fall of the empire.
Great crowd tonight, Chuck?
At its height, Rome numbered over 1 million people.
Hibernia, official bank of Southland Conference Athletics.
It was well policed. Sanitation was excellent.
And Southland Conference academics.
As children, we learn by playing. In time, the competition gets tougher and the lessons have greater consequences. Then one day, we find ourselves on the field of life, where the game is played for keeps and there are no timeouts. It is the mission of the Southland Conference to unite its student athletes and universities in preparation for that day, by building foundations for success with academic excellence, by teaching discipline and perseverance through athletic competition, and by fostering camaraderie and pride in traditions that will sustain our institutions for generations to come. As we ready our student athletes for real-life experiences as leaders and team players on the fields of tomorrow, we take this pause to celebrate them all, as one by one they prepare for the world, each with their own vision, dignity, and integrity, and the pride of being part of a great tradition, the Southland Conference.
Well, not too much to cheer about tonight for McNeese, as they've had their hands full here in the third quarter as they trail it by a score of 23-17. Martin Hankins, they'll be having nightmares about him tonight, no matter what happens for the rest of this ball game. Handed off to Ray Perkins. Perkins cutting back against the grain, picks up 5, gets out to the 25-yard line. Now, we talked about the fact that they had 300 guys come out and try out for the Southeastern Louisiana team. And that was one of the best stories, is Jeffrey Howard, a guy who was late for practice one day. Coach said, "Why are you late for the tryouts?" He said, "Coach, I didn't have gas money, so I had to sell my blood." Hal Mummy told us that story as they throw this one, and it's complete. This time it's Huggins, and Huggins knocks out of bounds.
Hal said he looked at him and said, "You know what? I think you're going to be on my football team. Get in line.
If you're gonna sell your blood for me, you will make my football team." He had to commute every single day from Baton Rouge and thought,
sold his blood for gas money.
That's right, exactly.
Great story.
This guy will make the team. He said, he came up to me the other day. He said, "Coach, remember when we used to practice in that mud hole?" He said, "Look at us now, and look at them tonight, leading 23-17, just under 4 minutes to go in the third quarter."
Comes the blitz. He's going to check out of it. They've been doing that all night. Hankins is recognizing that, and they're telegraphing that too much.
He's just a 19-year-old sophomore. Going up top, has the open man, Huggins. Huggins has the football, 30. He may score. Touchdown. I beg your pardon. He stepped out of bounds at the 4-yard line. He waited for a signal. The back judge never gave one, and they mark him down at the 3.
Watch this play very carefully. Quarterback sees the blitz coming. He checks out of it. This is the third time they've run it tonight. He just says, "All right, you're going to blitz me. Let's go one-on-one. I think my guy can outbeat your guy." And you know what? He has 3 times tonight. Touchdown.
Huggins stepped out of bounds. They'll mark him down at the 3-yard line. Look at those numbers tonight. Unbelievable.
Still got a quarter to go.
And now he has had a better night tonight than he did last time. Handed off up the middle, fighting inside the 2-yard line, down to the 1. Again was Ray Perkins. Perkins from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. He transferred from Vanderbilt. There's a big Kirby Joseph there to make the tackle. Hankins throwing in the flat, complete to Perkins. This time he gets in for the touchdown. And a 29-17 lead for Southeastern Louisiana.
Good play selection. Ray Perkins on the outside. Simply just get him isolated out on the slower lineman. He's going to win that battle every time. Big night for that man.
I would say so. Point after is good. So with 3:10 to go, nearly 20,000 on hand here at Cowboy Stadium. They are shocked in their seats right now because an upset is brewing.
Once and for all, the greatest is about to leave his mark. It's the Poker Superstars Invitational. For the first time in history, the 8 greatest players gather to finally answer the question, who is the world's best poker player? No amateurs, no jokers, no mercy. Learn from the masters. The Poker Superstars Invitational. Tomorrow, only on FSN.
Bring it, check it, bring it. In the Southwest, now we're gonna chew you up. The play's going down, you better check your cup. What? You are. Yeah, you felt that one, huh? Duncan, Garen, Nowinski too. They'll beat you down and then we're coming for you. You are. I can hear your mama calling for the Southwest Strong. For the Southwest Strong, this is our song. Sing it, come on. You are.
is your inside source for all pro and college gridiron news.
The hardest hitting football show in the biz.
Patrick O'Neill and our insider Jay Glazer break all the stories before anyone else.
When I first broke it, people were telling me, yes, this is going to cause such a heated debate.
We'll take you inside the huddle and behind the scenes for all the pigskin action. Totally Football, weeknights on FSN.
Southeastern Louisiana leading at 30-17. Hankins and Huggins have just been unstoppable for the most part tonight as they lead it by 13 points over the number 6 team in the country. This one 5 yards deep and wisely take a knee. Well, they'll bring it out to the 20 where Scott Pendarvis will try to get his offense headed in the right direction.
McNeese, you got to start thinking about the clock at this point. They want to start getting the ball downfield in that vertical passing game. They can't afford, I don't think at this point, being 2 scores down, to simply line up and run the football.
Well, last year when these two teams played, you think about it, it was a 58-20 game, but the biggest difference between this year and last year was the fact, while they only sacked Hankins 3 times in last year's game, they put a lot of pressure on him and hit him just about every time he tried to throw the ball. Tonight, the offensive line for Southeastern has done just a great job of protecting the quarterback, and things just like that have not gone the way that McNeese would like them to go, because that was Andy Bertrand. He usually makes those kind of catches, wasn't able to hold on to the football.
Well, they've had some penalties, McNeese has, key times in the ball game, and you're right, protecting Hankins. Those linemen are taking the big splits. And when he sees those safeties coming up to blitz, he checks out of that on 3 or 4 different occasions and hit a big play down to Huggins.
Atomic Tate's team, a team that was ranked #1 in the nation 11 out of 14 weeks last season, looking to win their 10th straight game, a 9-game winning streak coming in, and this one's picked off. Picked off at the 47-yard line. It was Duke Adams, the free safety, who came across playing center field and was there to make the catch.
Pendarvis just dropped back. You just see the safety come over the top, throws it into double coverage. Could just be a frustration throw at this point.
There's still, that's the thing you were saying a moment ago. I don't even think you really, I'll disagree with you on that. I don't think you worry about the clock at this point. You're down by basically 2 touchdowns. From this standpoint, to me, you just play your game. You're the number 6 team in the country. I don't think you press any panic buttons right now. The fact of the matter is, though, is they haven't been able to run the ball quite as well as I think they would like to be able to. And the passing game has not been there as well. Ray Perkins, one of the few times tonight he has had negative yardage. And you flip that over, McNeese's defense has not been able to stop going into the vertical passing game between Martin Hankins and Felton Huggins.
These guys are chewing up the clock using that passing game. I think if you're McNeese, what you got to be worried about also is you've had the defensive guys on the field all night long chasing these guys. So at some point, fatigue's going to become a factor.
Throws this one complete. Hit down hard at the 49-yard line. That was an expensive catch for Josh Taylor because he was nailed. Trey Bennett shot through there, and Stephen Barrett finished him off. But Taylor hit him hard. I think it's Bennett, I beg your pardon. There have been some great linebackers here at McNeese.
Big 3rd down play. What do you think? Number 80?
It's worked so far. He's got 12 catches for 220 yards and 2 touchdowns.
We'll see.
Where I come from, those are good numbers.
Yeah. Those safeties are creeping up. Hankins is looking at him saying, you coming?
Going to try it again. He's looking that way. Instead comes back here, and Ray Perkins is wide open. Well, Ray Perkins gets to the 40-yard line. It's enough for the 1st down. I'm telling you, if Jeffrey Howard could have gotten the block, Perkins might still be running.
Great protection up front. He has all day to throw. He actually goes through his reads and his progress. This is the 3rd outlet. He's standing back there all day.
See what I mean? Jeffrey Howard right there, number 4. If he could have gotten that block right there. Instead, Ivan Stevenson was there to knock him out of bounds. Still, it's a 1st down and 10 from the 40-yard line. Going up top, Huggins again, his 13th catch of the night. Down to the 25-yard line. It's a gain of 15 yards and another Southeastern Louisiana first down.
Hankins comes in, just gives him a pump fake. It's an out and go. That's a hard play to cover when you're a corner out on the island like that by yourself, especially covering a guy like Huggins, as athletic as he is.
First down and 10. Ball on the 25-yard line. Under a minute and a half to go. Throwing this one in the slot, and it's complete again to Josh Taylor. It seems like everything that defensively McNeese throws at them, they've got a counterpunch offensively.
Well, what they're doing also is he's making a lot of the calls at the line of scrimmage based on what the defense is going to give him. And you can see he's taking those, when those linebackers split out, he's just taking that 5-yard bubble.
Well, they'll set the clock and wind it as we go under a minute to go in the third quarter. Martin Hankins, what a night he has had.
See, Hankins right now is just deciding what he wants to call.
Bottom line is you got to get pressure on the quarterback. That is something they have not been able to do. This one caught, touchdown, Hutch Gonzalez.
Hankins is just dissecting this defense right now.
We are an extra point away from Southeastern Louisiana taking a 21-point lead. Making a 20-point lead.
Again, he has all day to throw the football and just finds Hutch on a simple out route.
It almost looks like too many things to cover right now. And again, I think it starts with getting pressure on the quarterback. And that's
well,
what they
pressure on the quarterback. They've been out there a long time. And Hankins is delivering the ball accurately all night. I mean, I don't think how many balls have we seen underthrown or overthrown? Not many.
So Hankins, his 4th touchdown throw of the night, his 8th touchdown throw of the year. You wonder why Southeastern Louisiana averages a sellout at home. They're fun to watch. Hutch Gonzalez, a guy who had 50 catches last year. You know, if you're a wide receiver, why would you not want to go there from the standpoint that last year 7 receivers caught at least 30 balls?
Well, that's what Hal Mummy said. You know, he said, look, we've got a lot of kids in the Louisiana area, especially in the Hammond area, a lot of skill players, and we really feel like we can go out and get those guys. He said LSU's going to get there 20 or 25, whatever they want, but look, we're going to throw the ball 30, 40, 50 times a game, playing entertaining football.
Program that was revived, they had to raise $5 million of private funds. They have to go 5 years before they ever see any state monies for their football program. There will be no state funding, so this has been pretty much a privately financed deal for Southeastern Louisiana.
It's been a grassroots effort from day one. Talked about his practice field when they showed up. They're making investments, building facilities, recruiting is picking up.
Well, this is their final year as an independent. Next year, they join the Southland Conference. They're making a statement to the conference tonight.
Oh, you betcha they are. Nice ball.
They're going to run it out, though. And a wise decision as it comes out to the 27-yard line for Carlise Franklin. Well, going into the final round of the first series, Gus Hansen and Howard Lederer have separated themselves from the pack. Will they triumph or will others rise to the occasion? It's the Poker Superstars Invitational tomorrow at 9, only on FSN. This is Whitehead, and Stephen Whitehead back to the line of scrimmage. He's nailed there, maybe a gain of a yard, but not much there. Big number 98, Lawrence Dunbar, 6'1", 335. He is from Gonzales, Louisiana.
Shinsky
make the tackle.
Shinsky and Marvin Jones have played terrific football at that middle linebacker position for Southeastern. They're not allowing themselves to get tangled up and just flowing to the football.
Throws this one, it's picked off. Coming back the other way. What a huge play as once again Ernest Wilkes is there to step up. Wilkes, just a sophomore. He's from Slidell, Louisiana. And that is the way the third quarter ends. 3 quarters in the books, and it may be one for the record books for the Lions, the way things are going tonight. We'll take a break. It's been a super night for that man.
There aren't too many things that are completely free these days. Air is free. Hand-me-downs are free. And advice will always be free. But if you want some really good free stuff, head for Hibernia. Our checking is completely free. You get free online bill paying, a free gift for opening an account. And switching your account to Hibernia is easy. Just stop by any branch, call us toll-free, or visit us online. Because if you really love free stuff, head for Hibernia.
You've got to step up. Close out all of the pressure. Trust everything you've been taught. And just believe you can do it. You know, my first day on the job sure felt familiar.
The NCAA helps over 360,000 student athletes succeed in whatever they choose to do.
A degree that will take you anywhere.
Hands-on research.
Personal attention.
Community involvement.
Student success.
Dream. Opportunity. Success. All start at McNeese. McNeese State University. Excellence with a personal touch.
Honey, I love it.
It's not just your new car.
We're gonna keep it really clean.
It's your dream car.
How's it gonna fit?
So don't insure with just anybody.
Rethink your car insurance and see State Farm agent Alexis Ducourbier in Hammond for the right coverage at the right price.
Get all the discounts and savings you deserve and the coverage that fits your baby perfectly. Life gets better, shouldn't your car insurance company?
Perfect.
College Football Saturday continues here on FSN as we welcome you into the fourth quarter and what is turning out to be an unbelievably surprising night tonight. As Southeastern Louisiana, an upstart program playing in just its second year after going 18 years without football. Last year they went 5-7. Tonight they're looking for the biggest upset in school history as Hal Mummy's team leads it 37-17 over the number 6 team in the country, the McNeese State Cowboys. Coming in here on the road, unranked, playing as an independent, trying to make a statement. No matter what happens in this game in this fourth quarter, they've already made a statement.
Absolutely.
Win, lose, or draw. Sophomore quarterback throwing for record numbers once again. Felton Huggins, the number 80 that was the intended receiver right there. He could be rewriting the record books as he has 13 catches in this game tonight.
Southeastern does not look like a 2- or 3-year-old program. They look very polished on all 3 phases. Offensive, defensively, special teams.
How Mummy said, I knew our program had come a long way. He said, because this time last year, the biggest question was, what are the uniforms going to look like? Right. This year, people want to know if you're going to win football games. Exactly. Again, last year, going 5-7, that was the best, that is the 5th best startup program record since 1980. Look at this one. It's complete to the 15-yard line, and another first down as once again Josh Taylor is there to step into the open area, and it's the Lions just taking what McNeese State gives them.
Another example of Hankins going through his reads and his progressions. Josh Howard's was his number 3 drop-off. He's done an outstanding job of protecting the football.
He is 33 of 49 right now for over 500 yards. Oh, beg your pardon, over 400 yards passing.
Wow.
Again, he threw for 588 last week. 338 in the second half. They're going to throw this one in the end zone and off the hands of the intended receiver. That was Jeffrey Howard who had that one and had a shot. Anyone and everyone, when dissecting this game before it started, thought that it would be, if folks were going to be leaving this one, and by this point it would be because it would be a blowout, that McNeese would be blowing Southeastern out. Instead, Southeastern Louisiana leading at 37-17.
And threatening.
Second down and 10. They hand it off to the 5, to the 3-yard line goes Ray Perkins.
McNeese picks up the first down.
Perkins and Huggins.
Hankins tries to lulls him to sleep, just gives the inside draw to Perkins. He picks his way through the line of scrimmage, and then the big fellow just puts his head down. Picks up a first down.
Perkins, Huggins, and Hankins.
Say that 3 times fast.
Sounds like an attorney firm trying to get this outside. Perkins down to the 2-yard line, and that is where it ends. Got it down to the 2, but it'll be 3rd down and goal. Make it 2nd down and goal. Beg your pardon.
Perkins taps out. Says, "Get me out of here, coach. Need to take a break." Young man's had a great football game today. He's a workhorse.
Hankins this time from under center, throwing the fade route for Huggins. He can't hold on. Just a little bit outside, a little overthrown.
There's too much juice on that one.
So 3rd down, goal to go. That would have been a great game plan tonight for Hal Mumme and his ball club. Look at the numbers on these two. 33 of 46, 405, 13 catches, 235 yards. Hankins thrown for 4 touchdowns, 2 of those to his buddy Felton Huggins. Nearly 450 yards receiving for Huggins in the 2 games, and that is a touchdown. Jeffrey Howard makes the catch, the man that sold blood to buy gas to commute back and forth from Baton Rouge to Hammond, Louisiana, so he could attend tryouts, picks up the catch.
Hankins, smart play. Howard just goes in the middle of the defense and just settles. Just squats right between those 2 linebackers. Accurate delivery of the football.
Man that caught 9 touchdown passes a year ago. That set a school record. And the point after is good. So Martin Hankins and company just absolutely picking apart McNeese right now. They lead it in Lake Charles, 44-17.
With nowhere to go as he pitches to the halfback. Wow, is he P-laid for about a 10-yard loss on the play. They read that one.
Brings to mind the Romans crushing defeat in a critical battle just outside of modern-day Turkey, 83-78. Ultimately, it meant the fall of the empire.
Great crowd tonight, eh, Chuck?
At its height, Rome numbered over 1 million people.
Hibernia, official bank of Southland Conference Athletics.
It was well policed. Sanitation was excellent.
And Southland Conference Academics.
It's the cool, crisp feel of an autumn afternoon. The smell of burgers sizzling on tailgates. The brassy sounds of a marching band. And the roar of a mighty throng of fans. This is football in the Southland. A grand tradition of gridiron greatness. Where raw recruits make their bids to rise above the deeds of yesterday's heroes. It's here that legends are born and stories unfold. Of triumphant victories and despairing defeats. This is Southland football, where helmet meets helmet, pad meets pad, and with a lot of sweat and a little luck, a pigskin makes it into the promised land. This is no dance contest. This is butt-kicking, bulldog, smash-mouth football in the finest tradition of the game. There is no better way to spend a Saturday afternoon. It's Southland football, for crying out loud. Now get out there and live it!
That seems only fitting on a day of upset. Southeastern Louisiana just absolutely taking care of number 6 McNeese. We saw it earlier today, and you don't know how big the upsets are this time of year, but Kansas State getting handled by Fresno State, Notre Dame winning over Michigan. And Southeastern Louisiana is 12 minutes, 54 seconds away from pulling off the biggest upset in their program's history. Maybe even before they spent 18 years on the shelf.
In their 3-year history, right? 2-year history.
2 years, yeah. Now, Mommy. Numbers speak for themselves tonight. A guy who coached Tim Couch at Kentucky. Tim Couch set 7 NCAA records, 14 SEC passing records. Boy, the guy he's got on his team right now, Martin Hankins, he's going to set a bunch of records himself. Came 36 yards shy of setting the all-time 1AA passing record.
If you're McNeese at this point, you need to get Andy Bertrand and Henry Smith involved in the ball game and start picking up some yards in chunks. It's a big deficit.
Down by 27 points. I told you going into this one that somebody would be trailing by 27. You wouldn't have been surprised. Just would have been surprised who is trailing by 27 right now. They get it out to the 40-yard line, maybe to the 41. And the running game inside, Chris Bush. Biggest key to me in this game has been Southeastern's ability to protect the passer.
No question. No question. They have given him all time to throw the football. And the play calling. He's done a nice job of checking out of bad plays and delivering the football accurately.
They better get on this. This may be a fumble. It is a fumble, and it's going to go back. It's recovered by Henry Smith, but that's a lateral. And Henry Smith gets back on it, but that's going to be a big loss for McNeese. It's kind of gone that way all night long. Huron, see if he hit it, number 3. He sure did. Damian Putt Huron was there to hit Pendarvis the ball while he hit Pendarvis right as he was throwing it. So it'll be 3rd down and 12. Couple yards lost. Pressure again. This time Pendarvis steps up and delivers a strike. It'll be close to a 1st down. Should be enough for the first as Henry Smith going across the middle. Knew he was going to get hit, but still made the catch.
At this point with the deficit the way it is, going no huddle?
Right now they're going to go ahead and huddle up. I think you just heard. The fact of the matter, you can't judge it on that play because the fact that they stopped the clock to move the chains. Pendarvis again throws this one complete to Marcus Singleton. And right now they're just kind of nickel and diming their way up the field.
I think you got to have 2 plays called. No huddle the rest of the game if they want to get back into this thing.
They're going to go ahead and huddle up once again. It's a 6-yard game, so a 2nd down and 4 is coming up. The fact of the matter, the clock continues to run. Now you're down 27 points right now. Pendarvis again going up top for Henry Smith. Has it at the 30. Down to the 25-yard line. He stepped out of bounds at the 27.
See, right now is when you get up on the line of scrimmage. Have that second play called. Granted, the clock is stopped. You got to score bunches of points fast.
So Pendarvis trying to get a little confidence back. Last couple of throws he's really stepped into. This time, though, they hand it off. And that is Stephen Whitehead, freshman from Slidell, Louisiana. Had a 21-yard run last week and finished with 75 against Southern. Hasn't had much of a chance to run the ball tonight. He has had a few catches.
Pendarvis, I think you take a shot in the end zone right now.
It's a 2nd down and 5. Ball at the 22-yard line. And he had it knocked down again. And once again, Putt Huron has just been phenomenal. He's had 2 quarterback sacks tonight after getting 2 last week. He's knocked down passes twice in this drive alone.
He's been all over the football field. Phenomenal athlete.
Talk about an outside linebacker who can run. Young man who signed at Mississippi State. Never attended there, so wanted to stay close to home so Mom could see him play. Did just that. She's glad about it. He's happy about it. This one complete again. Henry Smith, he gets out of bounds. He'll stop the clock with 10 minutes and 22 seconds to play. We're in the fourth quarter. Southeastern Louisiana shocking number 6 McNeese, 44-17. Mostly on the strength of that young man's right arm. Martin Hankins threw for nearly 600 yards last week. Tonight he's thrown 4 touchdown passes, making 5 touchdown passes. Look at the numbers. 407 tonight. That is 995 yards passing on the season. 2 games. 2 games. And he's not done. Hand it off to Henry Smith. And Henry Smith coming in as a running back is down at the 15-yard line. Got the first down. Stopped the clock, set the chains.
Gets harder and harder to throw the football the closer you get to the goal line. I wouldn't be surprised if Darvis takes a shot next couple of plays.
And Darvis throwing underneath. That one knocked away from Marcus Singleton.
Tipped again.
Yep. Once again, big plays. They've been doing this all night long. They've got some linebackers that can really run.
They can, and they've scouted well. They've gotten into those passing lanes all night long.
Burt McGee was there to knock that one away on that last play.
Very athletic bunch.
So from the 15-yard line. That one knocked down again. Well, once again, you got the big defensive linemen, and they get their hands up. There you see Matthew Joseph going up high, number 95. He threw it right into his elbow.
I think that's about the 5th batted pass we've seen tonight.
He's had a lot.
Very well coached.
Which tells you you're getting push in the defensive line. Matthew Joseph, Vinton, Louisiana, 6'5", 330.
330. Big boy.
Woody Weidenhofer's got to be happy about what he has seen tonight with his defense. They have been just great. And that one incomplete. So 4th down and 10. From the 15-yard line, decision time for Tommy Tate. Man who's taken his team to 4 straight playoff appearances. This just his 5th season. National Coach of the Year in 2002. Southland Conference Coach of the Year as well, as he led the McNeese State Cowboys to the championship game where they were defeated there. National finalist. Former defensive back at McNeese. 5-step drop, throws this one, and it's knocked away. Well, McGee once again. Burke McGee had his 2nd career interception last week, almost picked up his 3rd. He knocked it away on 4th down and 10, and the ball will go over on downs to the Lions.
Pendarvis, look at the top. You can't see it now. He had a guy wide open in the back of that end zone. Wide open.
And once again, though, pretty good pass rush getting to him, and it's easier. I've learned this a long time ago. So much easier from up here to see those things like that when you're avoiding the guys coming at you about 100 miles an hour with their hair on fire. And now I formation, handed to the fullback. That's big Terry Robinson, and Terry, 5'9", 230 pounds. Now they talk about guys with low centers of gravity, tough guys to get your shoulder pads underneath. 5'9", 230 pounds.
Where do you hit that guy? Because they always say tackle the guy in the numbers. I don't think you hit that guy in the numbers.
You can't even tell what his number is.
Your head might be going the other direction.
Trying to tackle a fire plug. Well, they picked up 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Hankins. Young man who threw for over 8,600 yards in high school. No one in Mississippi on the 5A level has ever thrown for more. Transferring that over into the college level. This one is complete, 20 to the 25, and he's crunched down there. It's Byron Ross, sophomore from Kentwood, Louisiana. All-stater in his home of Kentwood, as he was a 1A player of the year in his district, and he's able to pick up his first catch of the night tonight.
Did a nice job of avoiding that tackle, picking up the first down. They keep the clock running.
Well, under 9 minutes to go. Reminder coming up immediately following our game tonight. Stay with us for Hardcore Football. Plenty to break down from today's action. Once again, Ray Perkins looked like it was going to be maybe back to the line of scrimmage, maybe lose a yard. Instead, he's able to shed a tackler, and albeit a short gain, still he took what looked like it was going to be a 2-yard loss, and he turned it into a 4-yard gain.
Yeah, he's a tough runner. I think that's about the third one of those we've seen tonight where he had nothing and just fought for, you know, the ugly 2 or 3 yard gain.
Well, he ended up getting 4 there. So it's 2nd down and 6. It'll be a big week for college football in Hammond, Louisiana. They throw this when it's complete in the flat. Hutch Gonzalez, and Gonzalez takes it ahead. That's a first down. They'll stop the clock, set the chains. Once again, and keep in mind, they're going to get a good, nice test as to what Southeastern Louisiana will see next year. Northwestern State put up 80 points against this team last year. They gave up 58 points to McNeese last year. So Hal Mumme figures if I'm going to play them next year, I'm going to go ahead and schedule them this year. You got McNeese tonight. They go to San Marcos to take on Texas State next week. And then on the 25th of September, Sam Houston will go to Hammond, Louisiana to take on the Lions.
He's got a tough schedule, but he's doing the right thing. I mean, he's getting this program started off on the right foot, and he's playing that competition. He's saying, we're not going to back down from you guys. Let's get used to it now. Strap it up.
Well, when you start with the team that most people pick to win the conference and you beat them handily, they may be talking about we don't want to take anybody lightly in Hammond after tonight. So they have put on a clinic. Lost a yard, back to the 9-yard line. One thing for sure you'll know, Texas State and Ron Randleman and Sam Houston, they will have their teams ready to play as well.
You bet. You bet they will.
Martin Hankins has been able to do what he wanted to do whenever he's wanted to do it tonight. 3-step drop again. Go pitch and catch. You run the pattern. I'll throw the ball to you. Stays in bounds as the clock will continue to run. That was Shoney Francis, a man from Houston Westbury High School. Spent a season at the University of Houston. Never really got on the field. Francis transferring to Southeastern Louisiana. Made 30 catches last year. That was his first catch of the night tonight. Spent most of his time on punt return and kickoff return teams. They're going to run as much clock as they can. This is smart.
This is
under 6 minutes to go. Don't anybody be in any hurry, that's for sure.
I mean, they've run close to 4 minutes off this clock.
See if they call a timeout here. They'll call it in about 4 seconds. Play clock gets down to 1, and they call a timeout. So a timeout on the field. 5 minutes, 39 seconds to go. The clinic goes on. Southeastern leads it big.
LHC Group, representing a network of 70-plus healthcare facilities throughout Louisiana, Mississippi, and Texas, is helping people all across the region with a dedicated, high-quality medical staff. LHC Group offers home care, rehabilitation and long-term acute care, hospice, private duty nursing, and Lifeline. Whether it is about our patients, our employees, or our partners, here at LHC Group, it is all about helping people.
The Cystic Fibrosis Foundation invites you to join us Saturday, September 18th for our annual walk event, Great Strides, taking steps to prevent cystic fibrosis. Come enjoy a day of fun and fundraising and help add tomorrows to the lives of people with cystic fibrosis.
Great Strides! Great Strides!
Join us September 18th at at Cassidy Park in Bogalusa.
Great Strides, nationally sponsored by American Airlines.
The ripple effect stops here with Charter Business. Our business class data and video services are designed to help keep things running smoothly and efficiently. Call us to find out how we can help you. Charter Business, the way business works.
You're watching FSN Southwest.
Welcome you back. It is 44-17 as Southeastern Louisiana, the Lions, leading this one big, throwing this one complete in the flat, plenty of room to run for Ray Perkins, has the first down, past midfield, down to the 46-yard line. Remember, Southeastern Louisiana, it took them nearly half of the first quarter to ever even get a first down. But once they figured it out in a hurry. Figured it out and got an A in the course.
They had the clip notes somewhere.
I think they wrote the book, at least the way they're playing tonight. Forget the cliff notes. Martin Hankins, he and Felton Huggins have been the difference in this game tonight. Handed off right up the middle. Big yardage again down to the 40-yard line. Ray Perkins, and once again, Ray Perkins can't run through the holes. Martin Hankins can't have time to throw, and Felton Huggins can't catch it if Hankins doesn't have the time to throw, if the offensive line is not winning its battles, and they have done that tonight.
They really had Victor Carter.
There's big Donald Usry.
Jared Mason, Kennard White. These guys have really done a tremendous job of
right side
protecting
of that.
These guys.
Yeah, you talked about Victor Carter, also Calvin Greenwood. They're so big. I mean, Greenwood, the right tackle is 6'6", 335. They go 6'3", 330, 6'3", 300, 6'3", 305, 6'2", 326, and then, as I said, 6'6", 335 pounds across that front.
So they're averaging north of 300.
319 pounds is what they average.
That's some serious poundage.
That's Jermaine Spencer. He's the little fella. He's only 6'3", 320.
And they take those giant splits. These guys are going to be hard to handle. And think about the confidence this gives especially the younger kids on Southeastern. Coming in, first game of the year, knocking off a number 6 ranked team.
I mean, the win against Arkansas Monticello was nice last week, but this is a real validation tonight. As they are under 4 minutes to go. Clock will continue to run, and there is nothing that McNeese can do about it to stop Hal Mummy's ball club from pretty much doing what they want to do.
You wonder how McNeese will respond going back to work next week. Veteran coach Tommy Tate.
That'll be
3 conference championships.
It'll be the shortest 3-hour drive in the history of anyone making the trip from McNeese or from Lake Charles, Louisiana to Hammond, Louisiana, coming up tonight for this team. 38 of 53, 439, and 5 scores. And no interceptions.
0 picks.
Throw the ball 48 times and you don't throw a pick. There's Josh Taylor, and Taylor cutting it up north and south between the hash marks. And he's going to be short of a first down. Beg your pardon, that's Hutch Gonzalez. And Gonzalez on the carry.
Little misdirection. Gonzalez just takes it. Darvish cuts it up, sees a hole, gets into it nicely.
He got nailed.
He got jarred.
Kind of slowed down on that play at the end. Kyle Ritchie did not.
He almost got the supersonic surprise, didn't he?
He went from heading north to south in a big hurry. Well, people that have made the drive over have certainly been treated to this one tonight. Nearly 20,000 on hand for this game tonight. They've been sent home disappointed. This one is almost picked off. Talked about the interceptions that time, and for the first time tonight, they're going to throw a penalty marker. They're going to throw 2 penalty markers. That's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct. And then
I was wondering what was going to be.
Ivan Stevenson, who was mad at himself for not intercepting that ball, went down and started doing push-ups, and as you saw.
I don't think I've ever seen that. Have you ever seen that?
You ever seen a guy do push-ups on the field?
No, guy misses the ball and drops and gives 20. That's a first.
It's from the old movie Major League when Willie Mays Hayes. Willie Mays Hayes, whenever he hit the ball in the air, he had to do push-ups.
he was just saying to himself, look, I'm going to have to do this on Monday anyway. I might as well just drop down, knock him out right now.
Well, that time it cost his team 15 yards. Tommy Tate's got to even laugh at that. Tommy's got to like, watch at the end.
Here you go. Here comes this pass.
Oh, man.
You know
give
what?
me 20.
I better drop. Gets us knocked out. Here we go. 12, 13,
He was
14,
pumping up. See, you just wanted to tighten up those biceps because tonight's game's on TV.
Wanted the guns.
Make sure those guns, were loaded and ready.
Just like yours, Kevin.
Yeah. It is a 1st down and 10 after the 15-yard penalty, and now it's starting to get a little sloppy as we get under 2.5 minutes to go. Jermaine Spencer, if I'm not mistaken, that is the 3rd penalty of the night committed by Southeastern Louisiana. They've committed 3 penalties.
Unbelievable. Well, we talked about it earlier. I mean, the polish that they, for a football team that's 2 years old, they look very polished, confident in what they're doing.
Helps when you've got the ball in that man's hand to start every play. Martin Hankins, just a sophomore. Right up the middle. Terry Robinson, and Robinson again just keeping it between the hash marks right now. That's the most important thing for Southeastern Louisiana.
Looks like we got somebody down. It's one of the big guys.
Now Mummy will make his way out.
I was just going to say, too, it might make sense to get some of the...
Donald Ussery, 305-pound sophomore.
Get the starters out.
From Laranger, Louisiana.
Let's hope that's not serious. You hate to see a starting lineman go down like that. Let's hope it's not serious, especially when the game's already decided.
That's the smallest offensive lineman at 305 pounds. Again, certainly hope he's all right. Victor Carter, senior from Leland, Mississippi. He's 326 pounds. He comes in relief. Keep an eye on the snap. New center in the game. Carter moved over from the right guard spot, and it'll be a 2nd down and 15 if we ever get this going. Counted it down to 1:41 to go.
You're going to take a timeout.
You're going to take a timeout. There you go. So timeout on the field. Southeastern Louisiana, 1:36 away from a little history.
Introducing the Sports List, the new show that counts down anything
and everything
in the world of sports.
The Sports List, weeknights on FSN.
Why should you switch to DirecTV today? I was really sick of the way my cable company was treating us.
We didn't know we had options, so we did nothing for years.
Then I got DirecTV.
I had digital cable, and it was crazy. Only some of the channels were actually digital. With DirecTV service, 100% of the channels are digital.
I got my entire DirecTV system for free. It was installed for free, and I even got a free DVD player. I didn't have to buy a thing.
Have you looked at your cable bill lately? I did. I was paying way too much.
With DirecTV, I pay under $40 a month, and I get 125 channels, including my locals.
It's better picture,
better sound,
more channels,
and more reliable.
It's free installation.
And it was cheaper than cable.
You don't have to settle.
Get it direct. Get free installation and free equipment for up to 3 rooms through this special television offer. Plus, while supplies last, you'll receive a DVD player free just for subscribing. Pick up the phone and schedule your installation today.
Just pick up the phone and do it.
The Tim McCarver Show on Fox Sports Net explores the careers and personalities of sports' greatest competitors, bringing you insight with well-informed and thought-provoking questions. The Tim McCarver Show, Sundays on Fox Sports Net.
The best damn sports show, period. Weeknights on FSN. Tonight's game brought to you by Hibernia Bank, the official bank of the Southland Conference. By McNeese State University. By Southeastern Louisiana University. And by the Southland Conference. What a night for that young man. He sets a Cowboy Stadium record with 38 completions. He was 30 of 41 last week. Tonight, 38 completions. Nearly 450 yards passing. This one to Hutch Gonzalez, and Gonzalez turns around and you could see this is a well-coached team from the standpoint. You would see a lot of guys just string that out, run out of bounds instead, cut it up at the numbers, and kept the clock running. Now look at the numbers for these two young men tonight. Martin Hankins, 38 of 54, 439, 5 touchdowns. Huggins, 13 catches, 235 yards. And I'm not sure if he caught a ball in the fourth quarter.
Hard to believe you can throw the football 50 times with 0 picks. What a great performance for that young man.
Plenty to dance about tonight, that's for sure.
He's got some grass in his helmet. I guess that's it. Check that. It's his mouthpiece.
Trying this one. Shoney Francis, and Francis to the 10-5 touchdown. With 36 seconds left. Wow. Southeastern Louisiana goes over 50 with that touchdown. 36 seconds left.
I'm speechless.
It is 50-17. They were a point after.
50 points.
Away. Unbelievable. And again, they ran the ball that entire time. They ran it wide. They
stayed between the hashes.
You can't really fault Southeastern for turning it on, for piling on right now, because that entire final drive, they ran the football. They ran the football between the numbers. Even when they ran it wide, they still had guys cutting up. If anything, they were worried about the clock. Oh, and methodically moved down the field.
If you're McNeese, get back to the drawing board next week.
Yeah, they have no rest for the weary, because next week, McNeese has Youngstown State. Now, as far as these guys are concerned, they travel to take on another Southland Conference team as they go to San Marcos to take on Texas State University. A lot of congratulations for young man right there. Yeah, this is what Tommy Tate's team has ahead. Youngstown State and at Portland State. That'll be tough. And then when you start getting into the conference, you know it's going to be tough each and every night, especially when they have to go to Stephen F. Austin, a game you will see here on FSN. Coaches picked McNeese in the preseason to win the league, where sports information directors, who have a vote as well, they picked Stephen F. Austin to win it. Be interesting, and they may all be glad that Southeastern Louisiana is not in the league this year. What a day for that young man. Just a sophomore. What a birthday present. He turns 20 on Wednesday. And Martin Hankins sending a present to the entire Hammond area. Call it the North Shore. And they will be proud of this football team when they get back to the North Shore of Lake Pontchartrain. They're knocked off his feet at the 34-yard line. And 30 seconds left. They put up huge numbers a week ago. They are the real deal. Southeastern Louisiana puts up even bigger numbers. You thought last week it was against Arkansas Monticello. This week it's going to be different because you're playing against the number 6 1AA team in the country. Well, it hadn't been any different. Only thing different right now for McNeese is a new quarterback who comes into the game to hand it off on the last couple of plays. It's Chris Jones who comes in to hand it off. They don't have to snap it again.
Put this one in the books. Kevin's good working with you.
Hal Mummy better watch out for the Gatorade bucket, because that is all that's left. Now I think he's trying to show his team, or tell his team, to show a little class right now. Get out there and you shake their hands and show a little humility, because you showed what you needed to show on the football field. This is a stunning upset. And Tommy Tate, the class act, the first one over to wish Hal Mummy congratulations. As Hal Mummy and the Southeastern Louisiana Lions, they absolutely shocked the 1AA world, not with upsetting but McNeese, but the way they did it tonight. 51-17, the final score. We'll come back and talk about it in a moment.
There aren't too many things that are completely free these days. Air is free. Hand-me-downs are free. And advice will always be free. But if you want some really good free stuff, head for Hibernia. Our checking is completely free. You get free online bill paying, a free gift for opening an account, and switching your account to Hibernia is easy. Just stop by any branch, call us toll-free, or visit us online. Because if you really love free stuff, head for Hibernia.
The season is on the line for the Astros, and it's up to their veterans to lead the team into battle for a wild card spot.
High drive left field. Watch this one go.
Houston is counting on their bats to keep powering up, and their starting rotation to shine as they look to close the gap in the NL Central when they take on MLB's top team. Astros, Cardinals, Tuesday and Wednesday on FSN Southwest.
51-17. The unbelievable night for that young man as Martin Hankins rewriting the record books on what turned out maybe to be a historic night tonight for Southeastern Louisiana. Got to be very impressed with what they were able to put together tonight.
Well, they played outstanding offensively. I think you really got to give credit to his offensive line. He was not touched all night long, putting up those big numbers. Victor Carter, Calvin Greenwood. His offensive lineman really kept the pressure off of him. He really had time to drive back and deliver the football accurately today.
So a stunner here tonight in Lake Charles, Louisiana. It was Southeastern Louisiana that looked like Superman tonight as they win it by a score of 51-17. Coming up next, it's hardcore football. You've been watching Southland Conference football on Fox Sports Net. For John Berger, Kevin Eschenfeller saying so long from Lake Charles, Louisiana. Once again, the final. The Lions win it 51-17. Stay in, tune in for our next Southland Conference telecast next Saturday as it's Montana taking on Sam Houston State.